Okay, guys, warmly welcome again for this important training session. Saudi Aramco Construction Safety Manual (CSM) is one of the most important manual Saudi Aramco have developed for the easy understanding of all the contractors, whoever is working directly or indirectly with Saudi Aramco projects. So, same like before we discuss Saudi Aramco, why don't we try to understand the perspective of a businessman? Consider if you have a company, suppose you open a company named Eagle Construction Company. Now, if Eagle Construction Company does not have any safety policy or construction safety manual or any kind of procedures or different kind of forms or permit systems, such kind of things which can elaborate that you guys are doing your job as a responsible contracting company through systematic approaches. So do you think you will go for bidding? Do you think someone will listen even to accept your application for, to go into the bidding process? Of course not. That's why same way Aramco is one of the brand, but one of the contractor as well. Aramco is customer for us, and same way Aramco also have customers globally in more than 40 countries. So I hope you got the point. If we are serving to Aramco, Aramco is bound to serve some other customers, right? And those customers also have requirements to fulfill. And on the other side, Aramco try their level best to polish up and make sure the supplies development plans are there, and contractors, whoever is working directly or indirectly with Saudi Aramco, they do understand how they are going to tackle different kind of safety issues relevant to either oil and rig side, relevant to construction, or any kind of mechanical, civil, or general processes within Saudi Aramco. Even though we all know Saudi Aramco is one of the biggest industry in the world, that's why the magnitude, the area, the number of processes, are, the list is so big actually. But still, you name the material, you name any activity or any process, you will get Saudi Aramco standards for sure. That's why they have developed a lot of general instructions like GIs and a lot of other material just to support us, in better shape to deliver the projects, whatever we signed with Saudi Aramco. So, just since it's an open discussions going on, before I move on, can I know something about yourself? How long you've been working with Saudi Aramco projects, or what is your experience or education background, and what are your expectations from this training actually?
Yeah.
Yes, please.
I'm a graduate person, sir. I have been working since 2008 Aramco. I have almost 12-year experience in Aramco in the oil and gas fields.
Okay. Okay. Brilliant, Marshall. Welcome, Gulam. We are just in open discussion, so it's just an introduction part. Yes, please.
Yes.
Any other one? Your introduction, please.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Okay. I'm Mariano Jaime. I work in Saudi Aramco in 11 years, and I'm already in this OMPPD project is 8 years working in OMPPD.
Okay.
As a safety supervisor, and this is my first time to take this CSM 24 hours. Okay, and I don't have I have an idea regarding CSM, but I don't have any idea regarding our discussion now. I hope I learn well for this session.
Inshallah. Okay. Yes, Mr. Gilam, welcome for this important session. May we have your introduction,
Yeah,
please?
welcome, sir. We are working pipeline fields since 2008 when I come here in Saudi Arabia. For my first project is oil and gas field together with CAT company.
Okay.
We are working under as a subcontractor. Our company is David together with joint venture with the Extra company. Then after that, I will join to the Arcade company.
Mhm.
This is also oil and gas field company, master gas stations. We are working and also Padali in Abu Ali, in Joima, also in Farsania. And then after
Really?
that, again, I will join another company for the CPP company. CPP company also in pipeline company, mechanical company.
Excellent. Excellent.
So I'm working for Sania also. There is also 2 years, and then after I joining to the Vinkuraya. Right now I'm in Vinkuraya.
Excellent.
So I already got up ruble from the Aramco. Already my interview, everything is finished. They are accepting me without of any comments. But they are waiting for my CSM training. We need to
Oh,
be submit our CSM training.
so,
Then he will approve. He will give me my approval.
okay.
So yeah. So that's why we will inform our management, and our management approach that you must get the training. That's
It's
why they
okay,
are
no problem.
decided to be both of we are me and Mr. Mariano. We will together uh, get the CSM training. So
Excellent.
now, right now, we are there. Yeah.
Excellent. Warmly welcome
Yeah.
again. Warmly welcome again. Because,
Welcome.
since you
Welcome
guys
to you,
have
sir. Also.
experience, mashallah, and let me just introduce a little bit about myself. My
Mm-hmm.
name is Ishtaq Rana. I'm working
Mm-hmm.
in the QHSC CSR FMS field for the last 19 years as an auditor, as a trainer, as a management consultant. And most distinguished part is in Saudi Arabia, I've been serving more than 3,000 different companies, and one of the client is Aramco. Not only direct Aramco, even we serve the contractors of Saudi Aramco. And the most luckiest part is I've been delivering training directly to Saudi Aramco, Royal Commission, SABIC, Sadara, and many more other brands, like more than 100 brands. Luckily, we served, for the last few years, actually, especially in Saudi Arabia. And luckily, my experience, projects, hands-on experience, I've been involved in several consulting projects, not only in Saudi Arabia, even above than 10 other countries of the world, especially the USA and UK and, for different projects.
MashaAllah.
But in Saudi Arabia, I've been delivering a lot of sessions and risk assessment projects, especially to the oil rig sites and even some of the refineries, because we do different studies for different clients. It's not like only the training part. We are very practical oriented people like you, because you have hands-on experience as a professional, directly working with the companies. But we as a training institute, we try our level best to support the industries and different
Yes,
segments.
sir.
Like some companies gonna say,
Yes.
"Yeah, we just need gap analysis, where we are standing in
Yeah.
safety, quality, health, environment,
Right.
corporate social responsibility." So we try our level best to give
Right.
them a very neutral, straightforward report after having complete gap analysis or kind of study. Maybe it would take 1 week or sometime maybe 2 or 3 days. So then we're gonna submit them. Oh, this is your gap. These are the proposed or suggested corrective actions. And if you
Yes.
need us further, we can redevelop your complete safety system and to overcome all these issues. That's your choice. And some companies, they just hire us for the development of their system. They don't want us to as a trainer, as an
Yes.
implementer. What they want is just give us a complete documentation. And several companies now they started asking 5 processes altogether. What they're gonna say is, Ishtiaq, you are the one going to do gap analysis. You are the one going to develop the overall system belong to either quality or safety or health or environment or food safety or any other segment we are working in as per the international standards. And you are the one going to implement and train internally to our crew members or our workforce. And you are the one going to do or going to conduct even the first internal audit. So we can see where we are standing in terms of after implementation of any system. And also for your information, we support them for third-party certifications. Like one certification you are getting today as an individual, that is your credibility, your professional need, I would say. But we also certify the companies, not only directly we certify, but we support them for third-party certification. You know, like if SGS, TUV, or any certification body is coming, we will be there on that audit day and we'll supporting our client to make sure they get past this audit and they'll be certified globally. So this is a little bit snapshot of my career, and I'm always quite passionate learner like you guys. So I always try to learn from different people, and that's why I asked about your experience. So warmly welcome again. So
Mashallah.
So let me
Good
just
experience, sir.
before we discuss anything about CSM, since we guys have experience, so I have an important question. What do you think, as per your experience or as per your technical grounds and understanding, why accidents are still happening? What are the real root causes? I'm not expecting any bookish knowledge. Just I'm talking to you personally. Your mind, your intelligence, your perceptions and opinions.
The real root of cause is unsafe act. Mostly is the unsafe act, sir.
Okay.
Mostly, and
And these unsafe acts, you believe?
In my experience.
Okay. Any examples you have in your mind?
Lots of example I have in my mind, sir.
Okay.
Many people, because I'm working in the field, so I know there is a people, always they are using the shortcuts and they are always trying to do shortcut, and that is the biggest issue on the sites.
Okay.
That will be always have some kind of problem, will be accident, incident, injury, and enemies because of the using shortcuts. Mostly, the 90% cases I found on the site, people trying to always do he did not go to the right of way. He always tried to be too short.
Okay.
That is the problem. Most
brilliant.
I agree that.
Brilliant.
Most
Any
of the cost sa human behavior and safe act.
Okay.
These people are not aware of regarding the totally aware regarding safety. They know safety, but they did not know what is safety.
Yes.
Okay.
Also that.
Brilliant.
And
any
lack
other
of
opinion,
knowledge,
guys?
also lack of trainings. That is also unauthorized persons. That is also have issues for the root of cause for incident and injury.
Okay.
So
thank you very much for your participation and feedback for this important question here, because bookish knowledge is everywhere, right? The answer of any question through books, through our internet research, we can get. But the answer you have in your minds, mashallah, as per your experience, that is more credible. Because you didn't write any book until now, right? So your experience, not only your experience, every individual have a unique experience. So we should talk to that experience. Either he is a welder with 20 years experience, a painter with 10 years experience. So they can guide us well, you know,
Yeah.
how the risk assessment should go on within their area, because that area belongs to them, you know. Literally, they are the
Yes,
safety
they have
manager of their area. They are the
Yes.
activity owner or kind of area owner, you know, for this particular process, right? So
Yes.
Yeah.
what is happening is mostly we don't interact with them. We don't discuss with them in detail, and you know, we always sometime do our activities officially in our office, but we don't make dirty our hands actually, because once you are a risk assessor, you have to be on floor. Then you can understand exactly what can go wrong, and all the variations will be in front of you. How the variables can affect, you know, in terms of creating some incidents or accident. And most importantly, the behavior, the mindset can only be understood if you are on site available. Like Mr. Gulam mentioned, you know, that he is directly involved on floor. So surely he understand, like a psychiatrist, like a doctor, like a scientist, I would say, the psyche of their workforce, you know, wherever they are working, because different nationalities with different backgrounds, different education levels. So it's entirely unique, I would say, genes are there in each individual. So, but as per my experience for the last 19 years, by delivering more than, session to the 25,000 different trainees, let me share with you what I got until today.
Yeah.
More than 95%, I would say, the people mention shortcuts, even though is a term of unsafe, comes under unsafe acts. But this shortcut is a terrible phenomenon we are facing, especially in Middle East. We are unnecessarily sometimes so much rushy, you know, to save our time, and
Yeah.
because of poor planning, because of lack of resources, might be no manpower, or on the other side, because of not understanding that it's a human nature as well to do things as quick as possible. And because of these shortcuts, people have tendency and they became addicted as well, you know. Same like we have nowadays mobile addiction, screen addiction, you know. So if your people
Yeah.
are addicted with shortcuts, trust me, your company is in real danger. If
Yeah.
your people are addicted with shortcuts, they love to finish the job as quick as possible. They don't want to follow safety rules because they will follow. If they're gonna follow safety rules, they can't save time and the job will take more time. That's what their tendency is. That's what they believe in. And that is why, you know, a lot of accidents are still happening. And in Saudi Aramco, they clearly mention that shortcuts are swearly taken by different employees and different sites, and they observe a lot of cases. Even nowadays, still they are evaluating why people are taking shortcut. And one of the reasons they dig out the penalty clauses Aramco have signed with the contractors, you know. Like if you have signed a contract and you need to finish within 50 days, but unfortunately contractor is unable to finish in 50 days and he took more than 50, like 60 days or 65 days. So rest of the days he's being penalized and, you know, having some penalties in terms of Saudi Real from Saudi Aramco. And that is another hammer they have in their brain, you know. And several companies, they know they can only manage 2 projects, but because of this greediness and, you know, or because of this corporate business war, what they try is they accept even their capacity is for 2 projects, and they are accepting 10 different projects, and later on they are unable to, you know, acquire different resources and find out the right teams, you know, within the market. And that is another reason they can manage 2 projects with excellence, I would say, but rest of the 8 projects would be in danger because of poor management, poor leadership, lack of resources. And this is how companies are getting blacklisted as well, you know, not only in Aramco database, even in Royal Commission. even in Sadara, even in Sabik, even rest of the brands, they are also having disqualification system, very strong one, especially for the contractors. That's why nowadays you will get even your company would also be getting a lot of documentation from the subcontractors and to issue the vendor ID, before even they award any contract. It's a kind of pre-qualification system also, we can say. Same like Saudi Aramco have implemented SMS, safety management system to pre-qualify, and then they will allow us to go for bidding. And in bidding, a lot of other, that's sales and marketing teams, they know really well, or the project management teams. So I hope you will agree this shortcut is creating a lot of accidents here. And that is why our training, our audits, our on-site toolbox meetings, our kind of one-to-one counseling still not playing vital role, because companies have certain pressures and the people, they believe we have to take shortcuts. That is the reason safety department is not being listened carefully, by the top management. That is the reason they don't have open budget for safety, and unable to get even the required resources. That is why a lot of safety managers, they are not getting continual success, while they are working on this safety leadership position. Because it's not like, and this shortcut basically is a kind of parameter to understand the culture of a company also. How that company is responsible to manage different kind of activities and processes. So do you have any other opinion, or you agree that this is a terrible phenomenon we are facing in the market? Do you agree, guys?
I agree to that.
Okay, any other opinion, please, about shortcuts?
Pardon, sir?
And also the poor knowledge. Also, it is lack of trainings.
Absolutely.
It is also have a chance to be the mostly cases I found that in my experience.
Yeah, Mr. Gulam, this is not a lack of trainings, to be very honest, but this is lack of effective trainings.
Yes,
Trainings
lack
are
of
there,
knowledge
but
also,
effectiveness is missing.
Yes, the effectiveness, right, sir.
Effectiveness is missing, because otherwise I see a lot of junky trainings. Maybe, every day we are delivering a lot of sessions, but what is the outcome? What competence level of these guys have increased or enhanced? Do you have that competency analysis on ground and see after your training how the competence is improved for that particular person? So that evaluation is also missing. Even though the metrics are there for each individual, but still. And one of the reason I just got in my mind, we try unnecessarily to keep our boss happy also, to show up our performance as quick as possible. Just to show them our heroism. Look, without safe ladder, still I worked out. Even the scaffolding is unsafe, but I completed my job. I know the drill machine is not good, but I still completed my job. So we sacrifice our safety and our life even just to keep our boss happy. And I don't know if you are hardworking and you are honestly working at your position, then why you still need to keep your boss happy unnecessarily? Because you are honest with your job, you know your responsibilities, you know your ethical approach, you are the boss of yourself, because you penalize yourself in front of you every day and make sure you are not deceiving or kind of cheating, I would say, with the company. You're not doing it at all, actually. So of course, once you are dishonest or not fulfilling your responsibilities, then of course you need some clutches. And the one of the best clutches is your boss, right? And you would love to keep them happy. And I noted especially, in Saudi market, a lot of gifts you're gonna get as a boss from your subordinates. I've been working as a
Yeah.
QHC manager, and I'm noting down, how people try to keep you happy, just you have one kind of leadership position, even though you are also an employee and having a lot of responsibilities on your shoulder. But still, this is another
Yes.
terrible reason of shortcuts. Now, can I create one
Yes.
scenario
I agree.
here? Imagine if your boss is saying from Huber, you have to be in Jubail, from Huber city, you have to be in Jubail for a meeting within 20 minutes.
Risky travel.
Risky travel. Not only, it's a
It is not
deadly
possible.
travel, trust me.
Yeah.
Because risky travel means still you can be alive, but deadly travel means no chance to survive. Like if you're gonna drive
Yes.
just to keep your boss happy 200 kilometers per hour, then think about the ticket first of all, and then about your life as well.
Yes.
And boss will still not be happy, remember my words.
Yes.
Still it would be
Because
hard to keep your boss happy. Even you
I
were
heard
going to
that.
die for him, God forbid.
Yeah. In some accident, I have seen if something happen, boss will be raise his hand. I don't know why you do that. This problem will be all come to the workers. May I say you? May
I don't
I
know.
say you? No. Why you do wrong? Yeah, it is like that. The boss will be tell him to be do, and then when he do something problem, he raises his hand. I don't know.
One of my
The-
Saudi student, you know what he said? Sir, I will
yeah.
kill that bloody boss. If he will tell me to go to Kuba within 20 minutes from Kuba to Jubail, I will kill that bastard. How come he can say like this? So I told
Yeah.
it's really hard to say no.
Yeah,
It's really hard to say no, but
yeah.
it's hard to learn when to say yes even, or when to say no even, because that's
Yeah, yes, I
another.
will try it.
Yeah, I'll try. And otherwise, the good manager or the good boss, you know what he gonna say? Look, Mr. Gulam, the helicopter is waiting outside. Be there in 10 minutes and be there in meeting in 20 minutes. So, the good boss always give a triangle. You know how triangle?
Yes.
He will
Yes.
give you one responsibility plus authority plus required
Yes.
resources. But he will
Yes.
make you accountable. He's gonna say, look, no, I'll not accept any excuses. So be ready for that.
Yes.
But before letting all these things happen, he's gonna make sure you have clear understanding of responsibilities. You have well-defined authorities as well, along with your required resources to complete this particular project or even an activity.
Yes.
And this is how the good boss, but finding a good boss is one of the uh, difficult job in the world, to be very honest. Finding a good company, of
Yeah.
course, we can find it, but the point is, you can't
Yeah.
stay with a bad boss. It will kill your energy, your interpersonal skills, your confidence
Right,
level,
right.
your emotional intelligence. He will be the silent killer, and will be killing
Yes.
your capabilities, professional abilities day by day.
Yeah.
That's why people don't leave companies; they leave bad bosses. So
Yeah.
yeah, so a lot of people mention carelessness, ignorance, no attentiveness. This no attentiveness is very terrible nowadays, especially because our minds are addicted and we have distracted minds. Especially, let's take an example of a screen addiction. In my face-to-face training sessions, no, I stopped to saying people, please don't use mobile in my class. If a person is addicted for the last 10
Yeah.
years, how I can change in 10 minutes? So I can humbly request, can you go outside and enjoy your mobile work? So that's, So you enjoy your calls, you
And
enjoy
that
your
is good.
Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn, and come back when
Yeah,
you'll be attentive.
yeah,
Don't come with the
yes.
distraction.
Because his mind is not present. If you not say that.
Yeah, exactly. Man. I can have a recap
Yeah.
even for all the bullet points. But you go and
Yeah.
this is just one more example we can quote here. Imagine you have chain
Mm,
smokers, like out of 100 employees, 10 are chain
mm,
smokers. And
yeah.
your general manager
Yeah.
say, look, Mr. Safety Supervisor, tomorrow to onward, I don't want
Mm,
to see even a single cigarette in the hands of these chain smokers. What would be the
mm.
reaction of these chain smokers? He will leave the
Yeah.
job, but will not quit the smoking for sure because their mind is addicted with the nicotine,
Yes.
right?
Bill.
So this is the time to
Yeah.
understand the
Right.
real root
Right.
It
cause.
is the
Yeah.
they love
I
their
agree with that.
rather than job.
And for your more motivation, let me give you one live example. I was doing a risk
Mm,
assessment, a kind of a safety audit of a printing section,
okay.
like 6 or 7 years
Mm,
before.
mm,
So I noted three guys there. Let me mention straightforwardly the nationalities. Even one guy was from Philippines. Okay. Uh,
okay.
and he was because this printing section they were using in ink mixing like thinner, retardant, and so many other chemicals because for better printing, on paper. And I asked the guy, how come you got this NIOSH approved air purification respirator? Do you have friendship with safety department or safety manager? So I still
Mhm.
remember the golden words, I would say, from that guy. Even though later on we awarded him with certificate and some kind of cash
Mm,
award as well, just for being a role model. I still
mhm.
remember these words. He mentions, sir, look, if company doesn't care about my life, does not mean I should start killing myself. My life is not that much cheap.
Oh,
I'm here for my
wow.
family, for myself.
Wow.
If company is not
Mm,
taking care of me, should I kill myself gradually? That's why I purchased this NIOSH approved respirator for my own pocket because my life cost price is not like 400 real or 500 real. So it was a big
mhm.
slap on the face of top management of that company. Even later on, we terminated the safety manager. We changed, drastically so many staff members. Even though that was not the positive decision, unwanted decision was there, but we went for it. The reason is, if you as a safety
Mhm.
manager, as a safety leader, ignoring any kind of unsafe acts or any kind of safety rules, or you are discriminating
Mhm.
between people, or you are enforcing people not to get right suitable PPs while the employer legally bound to buy suitable appropriate PPs and issue them free of cost. Because why that guy purchased such a NIOSH approved? Because he wants cleaned oxygen within his lungs. He don't need contaminate. He don't want to get in any contaminated air, right? Mixed with chemicals.
Yes.
So because he knows gradually he will be killed actually. And this is how sometimes we as a businessman killing our employees by ourselves because of,
Mhm.
and the phenomena
Mhm.
is, this is a cost saving plan. Issuing expensive PPs or suitable PPs,
Mhm.
or, or just fulfilling formalities. We believe this is a way to save cost. This is not saving of cost. If your employees are sick or they are unhealthy, imagine what would happen to your quality and productivity of your projects.
Right.
So I always try to give a wake up call, and that was the reason from that day I developed a training session by myself, effective safety
Mhm.
leadership. And this training I designed especially for the general managers, project managers, vice presidents,
Yeah.
presidents of the companies, the CEOs, the
Yeah.
managing directors, the
Mhm.
people who are the leading role model, but unfortunately they don't understand the real crux of the safety standards. They believe
Yes.
this is the responsibility of a safety department. And that's why I created this particular segment, and quite successfully we are delivering these sessions, but especially to the board members or the top management. Now, a lot of people mention poor knowledge and overconfidence, and this overconfidence is also, encouraging people to go for shortcuts. Oh, I'm 20 years experience. I know my job. Don't teach me anything. I don't need right set of tools because I'm 20 years confident experience. Fool, to be very honest.
Yes, sir.
So this overconfidence is also a killing point, and a lot of people mention unsafe acts, unsafe conditions, defective tools and equipment, and no use of PPs. Sometimes PPs are there, but no use. Let me give you an example of that. The previous example of this printing section. The second guy, he was from Nepal, I believe, exactly. And I asked him why you are not using even a disposable mask. So he made me speechless, to be very honest. He mentioned, sir, look, where were you before 10 years? Now I'm addicted. I'm addicted with the thinner smell, ink smell, and a lot of other chemicals. Now I can't be alive, I can't live without these chemicals. I'm bound to inhale them, and even to deal with the killing Friday, I take thinner and water bottle. Do whatever you want to do against me. I simply damn care.
Oh.
Because he was addicted, and I took it very positively, to be very honest. Later on, even though we encouraged him and we motivated him, look, this is still, you have a chance to save your life. So gradually, even though we motivated him, but I liked his straightforwardness, because for the last 10 years, nobody stopped him. Where is your mask? Why you are not using mask? While you are mixing ink? Why this chemical you are inhaling every day? And he was drinking thinner, especially on Friday, because his mind, his body is addicted with these chemicals. I hope you got the point. Sometimes, if people are not using PPs, you have to think might be they are addicted. They are addicted maybe with H2S also. At the level of 5 ppm or 10 ppm, they like this ppm, at this level. And they don't want to wear any respiratory. So positively, we need to understand why people are not listening us. Why every time we are telling them the same instructions, where is your helmet? Where are your safety shoes? Where is your mask? Why you're not wearing it? So now we need to understand the underlying root causes. Why people are not following our safety rules.
Last name.
Yeah. So a lot of people mention, no effective trainings. As I mentioned earlier, trainings are there, but effectiveness is missing. Excessive workload is another reason. Poor communication. Like we have, imagine if you have 22 different nationalities working all together. So how are you going to communicate if people can understand? Imagine you have 80% Filipinos working at your project and you are teaching them in Kerala. How come they will understand you? If you're not communicating in English or in their language,
Yes.
And same way, imagine if you have lengthy procedures written everywhere, displayed everywhere, but nobody have time to read them. Instead of using pictorial set of procedures, pictorial based, you are using bonanza of words, and nobody have time to read all these words. Let me take an example. Like, have you studied even one time your company's safety manual? Might be having more than 250 pages. Have you studied even a single time every word, every heading of your safety manual?
No, sir.
Let me take another example. You have certain chemical being used within your companies. Have you ever studied all 16 sections of this one chemical, one MSDS, material safety data sheet? All 16 sections? Nobody have
No,
time.
sir.
Even Aramco have formed another local document. We call it CHB, Chemical Hazard Bulletin. Even this document is more straightforward, easy to understand. But have anyone still study all the sections of this particular CHP? Still, you will get a lot of no answers.
Yes.
So that means our materials are not working. Our communication, internal communication is not effective. We have to find out some other ways. Like instead of saying, okay, this is a prohibited area for heavy vehicles, it's much better to put a signboard with a heavy vehicle and cross with the red circle and one line actually. So message is quite clear that heavy equipments are totally prohibited within this area. I hope you got the point. So our communication mechanism should also be comprehensive so people can understand. See, on the red signals, traffic signals, we have red, green, and yellow because educated, uneducated, everybody understands the same language. What is the meaning of red color or yellow, or what is the meaning of green color, right?
Yes, sir.
Even still, they place one more hammer just to train our mind. 3,000 real. You dare to cross this red signal now? And just go and study how drastically the accident graph went down just by taking one action, by putting one fine policy, 3,000 real. Otherwise, yellow was blinking and we were shooting up, like a bullet train, I would say. But now what is happening? Even green is blinking, and I noted, including myself, to stop immediately. Even green is blinking, and we damn care what would happen from the backside also.
Yes, yes.
But we don't want to cross this red signal, right?
Right.
So communication is, this effective communication, not only internally, even externally. Like whoever is coming or at my side, my system should be talking to them. If they are going to visit chemical area, the chemical storage area should talk to them. What is the chemical name? How dangerous it is? What type of extinguisher you have to use? What kind of first aid measures you need to take? What is the name of that chemical? The system should talk to them. Where is the muster point? The evacuation map should talk to them. How many fire extinguishers are there? What are their locations? First aid boxes locations, even the fire hoses and so many. What we are doing, we are communicating, our system is communicating with every individual at our project site, right? Why we put different barriers and red tape and, we cover prohibited areas, even with fencing, we do a certain kind of fencing as well. Because this system is easy to communicate with people, to alert them, to warn them, don't come into this area without permission, without work permit system, right?
Right.
No, you can speak Arabic and they can understand English. This is another phenomenon. They can understand Arabic and you are talking in English. You are saying something else and they understand entirely something different because they are unique scientists. So, and sometimes they are not focused, they are in front of you, but mentally they are with their wife, might be with their friends. But in front of you, they are just physically present, but mentally you have no idea where they are. Can they understand your message clearly? And you spoke up for 5 minutes and deliver the message. Look, I told you earlier, you have to do this, but mentally the other person is not available. And this is happening on the roads as well. That's why a lot of accidents still at the road we are facing because of this distraction, because mentally we are not at the road. Mentally we are somewhere else. And for that particular second, things are out of our control. And this distraction should come even from mobile usage, maybe coffee drinking, eating, talking to family members within the car. All meetings are being done within the car. They can't do in office, they can't do via Zoom, they can't do via other possible mediums, you know. They want to do every sort of important meeting within the car, and they have no idea how dangerous it is. And a lot of people on number 12 mention, you know, the excessive workload. Like, you know, the engagement of employee survey is very much important for every organization. Engagement of employee, how much percentage of employees they are fully engaged for their jobs, you know, and how many of employees they are not engaged at all. Like if you have, let me give you a practical example. Imagine if your company has 50 employees and might be the 20 loyal or honest employees, they are taking and bearing the whole, you know, tensions of the project, and they are fulfilling all the responsibilities, working day and night, because they don't want to demolish their brand goodwill as a professional. They don't want to lose their credibility. They want to keep their company management happy with them. So what they do is they accept excessive workload. But rest of the 30 employees, they are enjoying. They are enjoying because someone is general manager's friend, someone is project manager's friend. Nobody have dared to tell them. And someone is came from Royal Commission, he is the Saudi. Someone you hired from Saudi Aramco, he is not working with Aramco, no, he is employee of your company, but your psyche is with Aramco, he came from Aramco. So what you are doing, not to tell him any task. And this is how we are making people facing excessive workload at the job site. And now another, I'm talking practical things. On the other side, you need 50 employees for one particular project. And your company is saying manage it with 20 employees. Your project required 50 employees. Generally, you calculated that you need how many welders, how many painters, how many excavators, crane operators, whosoever is there. You calculated exactly that we need 50 professionals to complete this project on time. But your top leadership, they are stressing, okay, complete this project with 20 employees. We have no other sources available. Or we don't want to hire. And this is another cost-saving project they believe they implemented. But what would happen, you know, if your people are overstressed, overloaded, what would happen to their brain, their psyche, their heartbeats? How the blood pressure sometimes will be shooting up. And we all know blood pressure is one of the biggest reason of heart attacks, right?
Right.
And later on, what we gonna say is a natural death. No, it's not natural. You killed, you know, that gentleman by putting a lot of load, you know, because he's honest. He's credible professional, but unfortunately you misused him. I hope you got the point, how sometimes we are the one killing people. And one of the reason a lot of people mention not following the safety rules and regulations. And in Saudi Aramco, they have clearly understood, even after 81 or 82 years experience, they still believe not following the safety rules and regulation is the #1 cause of accidents, especially in oil and gas industry. And number 15 point, basically, very few I noted they mentioned, but I added from my side, the poor leadership. We have quite easily a blame culture. Blaming others is quite easy, but as a positive, neutral leader, you should accept your failure first of all. If my people are taking shortcuts, if they are careless, if they are ignorant, if they are not having attention, if they are having poor knowledge, or they are overconfident, or they are unsafe actors, or following unsafe conditions, or having defective tools and equipment, or not using PPs, or They don't focus on trainings or having unnecessary excessive workload, or not emotionally intelligent to manage excessive workload, or they never follow safety rules and regulations. Then this is your failure as a leader. First of all, you have to accept that reality. Otherwise, how are you going to improve the culture? Because you need to start from yourself, right? Same like safety starts from you, safety starts from me. Same like I should do my SWOT analysis, you should do your SWOT analysis. What are my strengths? What are my weaknesses? What opportunities I have to improve in? And what threats I have personally within myself, which I need to overcome, right? And this positive leadership is another lacking point in the industries, and that is the reason they just want to bypass safety, because they are not responsible, ethical, positive leaders. They are the money makers, to be very honest. Yes, as a businessman, we should make money, but not by killing people, not by damaging the environment, not by damaging the assets of the company, not by killing the goodwill of the business overall, right? Yes, we should make money, but ethically. That is why a lot of regulations, even within Saudi Arabia, now Ministry of Interior, they'll be doing a lot of inspections in future, and they will put a lot of violations, because what they believe is public safety does not belong only to the roads or homes or other areas. It belongs to the companies even. Within the companies, we want to see how the public safety we can ensure it. And they'll penalize the culprits who will not be following safety. And that's why even I personally also got offer from the Ministry of Interior, can you work as a safety auditor for our certain projects in Yambu? But since our commitments are with the training industry, so we don't want to indulge in one circle. We want to live in a sea rather than be a frog of kind of a well. And that's why we didn't accept. Otherwise, they're looking for the auditors who will be auditing on behalf of Minister of Interior to different companies. Even modern and civil defense and PME and so many other, including Baladia. Look what level of authorities they are applying now. They're not doing it intentionally. They are bound to do it for safety reasons, for so many other. Because the brand name of Saudi Arabia is also important, right? As a country. Yeah. Imagine if accident graph in Saudi Arabia goes up again and again, over and over every day. A time will come, no other country would love to work with Saudi Arabia. Because they will think, oh, it's an unsafe country. It's an irresponsible country. They don't have any safety mindset or any kind of culture to keep their people safe, to create a zero accident club. What would happen? Once the goodwill gone, it's all over. And that's why our leadership have to accept their failures, rather than justifying or giving excuses or a lot of, debates and arguments going on. No, that's not my fault. This is the fault of a janitor. It's the fault of a welder. It's the fault of a painter, not mine. But you as a leader couldn't convince them. You as a leader didn't make them the safety manager of their own area. You didn't train them how one hazard can destroy everything. You didn't train the simultaneous scientific approaches. If someone is doing welding, the other one is doing painting, what is going in the air, what could happen, you didn't train them. And how come you can blame them here? Because training, providing PPs, providing trainings, this is the legal responsibility of an employer. Providing safe conditions of work, this is another legal requirement of an employer to follow in. Then he can blame anyone else, you know. And this corporate world, I personally invented that the new religion is invented to gain money and power by any means. That is why the corporate world is feelingless. You know. They don't want to feel that what would happen to my welders, what would happen to my people if they are working in a confined space, what would happen if no shoring, benching, shielding, sloping would happen to the excavated area, what would happen? They don't want to hear that how the overhead power lines or underground cables can affect the safety of my employees. They don't want to think even. Just do your job and don't tell us any issues. We don't have time even to get permit. It's a remote site. Nobody is watching us. Just complete your job and kill yourself. And the trickle-down effect, the trickle-down effect of a safety leadership is very much important. Not only the safety leadership, even the top management. If they are not following safety, what would be the impact in the brains of others? You know? If a general manager is visiting a site but not following any safety rule because he's the general manager of the company, this is enough to see what level of safety culture that company has. So I hope you got the point. This poor leadership is another one of the reason of continual accidents still happening. Even nowadays, you know, nowadays technology is booming up. We have, you know, technology for everything. We can know the hazards proactively in advance. We have monitoring system, you know, high-tech robotic technologies are available. In advance, we can know what can happen within any danger zone. You know. And a lot of people mention no value to work permit, no value to work permit, no joint site inspection, just formalities, no value to safety system, poor preparation. We are so much in a hurry. Just we have one intention to complete the project, but on the other side, we have no idea how to get fully prepared. Documentally, physically, with PPs, with set of equipments, with the right set of qualified people, how we have to get prepared. Our transportation plan, our journey plan, our HIP plan, our ERP plan, how we gonna be prepared with that? And guys, a lot of people mention no self-realization. No self-realization. Safety is not my responsibility. This is the responsibility of safety department. A terrible misconception, you know, still we are noticing up in the market. My safety is not my responsibility. This is the responsibility of a safety supervisor. He should come and keep me safe 24 hours. How come, you know, you first of all have to be responsible. That's why Aramco in their theories, now they have clearly mentioned your safety, first of all, your responsibility. You can't blame anyone. If you are lacking knowledge, you go to your manager and tell, I don't have welding process knowledge related to safety, so I need training. You go to your manager and tell, since the project belongs to the confined space and it's my first project, I'm not confident because of lack of knowledge, so I need more training. You go to your manager instead of hiding your gaps here. If you are not having suitable PPs, you first of all go and ask them in. Be a responsible employee, a responsible, safest employee, and don't compromise, because your life, your responsibility is your life for your family. You know, company have contingency plan for everything. They have big queue, I would say, the big bonanza of CVs in their laptops and their database. They have backup of everything. If a manager is going, they have 20 more managers to join in. But our families, we are the only one heroes, right? So safety is our own need. That is the positive intention we need to rebuild in the brains of our people, because they are addicted. They are addicted for the last 30 years, 35 years, 20 years, and they believe nothing has happened for the last 20 years, but they forgot what could happen in next 20 years. So they are not accepting the safety rules. They are not giving importance to safety culture at all, because of being sometimes over experienced, overconfident, love to take shortcuts, very much quick manner to finish the job as quick as possible, keeping their boss happy. So look, if such kind of things are there, how are you going to improve? And these are the challenges even today's safety leadership is facing, including me. You can judge my feelings, to be very honest, even during this training. How challenging is sometimes to change the mindset. And now in the safety department, trust me, we don't need knowledgeable safety leaders. They must be knowledgeable, but now we need the mind changers, the mind changers, the convincers, the motivational speakers, who can change their mindset. Because once the mindset is changed and they realize, yes, my safety, my responsibility. I need to ensure housekeeping. I need to make sure I have all the PPs. I need to make sure no unnecessary activities are going on. No unnecessary items are lying in my area. I'll make sure all the red areas or the prohibited areas are barricaded and nobody can approach them. I'll make sure all the required warning signs are displayed within my area, because my safety, first of all, my responsibility. And then we will feel that safety department is a blessing. Still they are coming to us, they are motivating us, they are trying to support us like a supportive department. And I always encourage to the safety department also, don't play your role like a police. Don't use push policy. Try first of all, pull policy. Convince people, change their mindset, try your level best, have one-to-one counseling. If you are unable to convince them, find someone else, maybe from third party, maybe from one of your friend, maybe, who is a mind changer. He can change a mindset. Call him, get permission from your PM and call him and tell, look, I want this gentleman to be changed. He's not following safety rules at all. Same like psychiatrists. Why we go to psychiatrists? Whenever we face some issues, unroutine in our life, we feel there is something wrong. And nowadays, a lot of soft skills are important. Maybe at the end, I'll share the list. What business soft skills in trainings became important, even more than safety trainings, I would say. So guys, this was all about open discussion. Why accidents are still happening? What are the underlying or real root causes? And any construction safety manual or any kind of theories will not work if those reasons are still existing within your company. Because these are rules basically. Any procedure, any manual, any kind of policy you are writing, you are giving a direction. You are telling people, okay, do this, do this, do this, through this way. This is the safest way to complete it. But if their mindset is not changed, or they don't realize, or they hate safety department, or they hate safety rules, all these materials will not be effective. Even you are going to be knowledgeable after today's training, you'll get plenty of information. But it will be still useless if you are unable to change the mindset. First of all, your mindset, then your trickle-down effect to the minds of others. So the biggest important chapter, I would say, the general safety within CSM, Construction Safety Manual of Saudi Aramco, is all about emergency response, reporting and response. After 81 or 82 years of experience of Saudi Aramco, still they believe people don't report. They hide a lot of things, Even they don't know how to report. Still they are evaluating it. And still they believe the contractor's emergency response plan is going on the left side, Aramco plan is going on the right side. Totally opposite direction. Not correlated as per the project need. I hope you got the point. Even a lot of people, they noted, they don't know what is 911. How to call 911. Even they have no point of understanding how many muster points are there. Because sometimes you don't give detailed induction. You just get paper signed and you believe the person knows everything. Go and complete your job because we are paying you 400 real per hour. You are a rigger level 1. And we don't have time to conduct your induction. No need of safety orientation. Just go and finish your job. And be ready to die because you didn't tell him how many prohibited areas are there, or danger zones, in other words, and also the muster points and what terrible hazards could be there area-wise. You didn't train them. In case of emergency, to whom he will be contacting. Because you thought he's a rigger level 1, a very knowledgeable person. Yes, he's technical person, but in rigging and lifting, not in safety. Even you go and ask your general manager, your company president, do you know you have signed a safety policy? Do you know what is written inside? 99% you will get the answer, no, we don't know. Then why you signed it? How come you can sign it if you don't know what is written inside? And you have no idea it's a promise, it's a commitment, it's a framework that you have signed a document and you shared with all the stakeholders, interested parties, including your customer, like Saudi Aramco, and you are sharing with them, look, our policy is signed by the general manager, but unfortunately, he doesn't know what is written inside the policy. Because no time. The excuse is, I don't have time, go to safety manager. He knows everything. I don't have time to study even a document I'm going to sign. This is another mindset which we are also trying to change through effective training. In several companies, before conducting any training, we prefer them, let us have a need analysis, training need analysis by ourselves. Then we're gonna tell you what trainings are important for your company. Instead of you are imposing, we need the training. And your people are already familiar for all these things. Like they need emotional intelligence training and you are giving them ERP training. They know how to use Kaba, they know how to buckle up full body harness, they know how to rescue someone, they know how to give first aid, they know how to lift someone and bring into the safer zone. But they have no idea how emotionally they have to intelligent to calm down, to control their nerves in case of emergency. I hope you got the point. They need training for stress management and you are giving training for incident investigation. But yes, in the construction safety manual, of course, we will get plenty of informations. Like incident reporting and investigation, Aramco wants every incident to be first of all reported by the contractor and also need to be investigated. And it's a coordination, kind of a coordinated investigation, along with the contracting management as well as Saudi Aramco. And Saudi Aramco, to be very honest, have a big team of investigators. The moment there is any incident happened, then you will see the real face of Saudi Aramco. But before that, I always tell to Saudi Aramco guys also, before that, you guys are sleeping. You don't play sometimes your proactive role. You always having a very strict and rude behavior right after the accident. But where was your role before, why proactively you are not involved in risk assessments, in joints and inspection? You gonna tell, oh, we trust you, Mr. Contractor, you just finish your job, come up with the evidence, I will sign, because I have plenty of other tasks to be done. I hope you got the point. Let's be realistic. Sometimes Aramco is not playing their role effectively on different certain projects because it's a big industry. And that's why the contractors are getting benefit. Oh, Aramco, oh, he's my friend. Aramco, oh, they are so much busy. They have no time to watch us. Okay, they don't have time to watch you. Does not mean you should start killing your employees by ignoring safety rules, by passing different safety sensors or safety devices even sometimes. Because you don't want that equipment to be stopped up. You want to continue your activities, and safety sensors and devices, they will stop your task, So you love to bypass safety features. I hope you got the point. But in the investigation, the moment something happened, in the investigation, they will find out every possible reason, underlying even the visible root causes. And accordingly, they will take corrective preventive actions, and they are unavoidable. They have to take these because now incident happened. And for your information, sometimes one incident can destroy everything of your business. Let me just share one example of Bin Laden, one Makkah incident. Bin Laden, even today, they are crying for business. Even they have some business, but directly under influence and leadership of Saudi government. That means the hammer is there all the time. The sword is trembling up all the time. And the third part of this general safety, we truly need to learn what kind of personal protective equipment must be there. And I'm sure you guys have plenty of knowledge as per the need of the process or as per the nature of the project. You need to decide what kind of PPs you need. If a project belongs to a chemical area, what kind of PPs you need to look into the MSDS even to get a real guidance. If you're working in a confined space, how are the PPs what kind of PPs must be there? If you are working with vibrating equipment, what kind of even gloves should be there? If you're working in a offshore industry or even onshore in a desert area, what kind of safety shoes or coveralls must be there? How they have to be protected? If you have a welding process or a painting or you are having some abrasive blasting or some kind of such processes, what kind of PPs will be helping you? And all these things, how are you going to incorporate in your work permit system? This number 4 point. How the work permit system should work on. That's why the GI 2.100 is all about the work permit system. And this work permit system terribly being ignored, especially in remote areas where people believe Saudi Aramco will not watch them. And they can ignore, different safety rules and because nobody watching them. And sometimes this work permit system is being followed, but maximum in terms of documentation, not in terms of physical implementation. Like just tick, tick, tick. I noted one of the WPR sitting in the GMC car. He was kind of like sleeping, in the car. And I asked him, where is the documentation? And it was just tick, tick, tick. Because physically, nothing. Like if he tick, all the PPs are there. Even the few people were missing there. If we mention the forklift is very nice, okay, everything is okay. Unfortunately, the terrible condition was found of that forklift. So I hope you got the point. Sometimes we just have tendency to take, and later on we are ready to die in terms of accident, God forbid. And within this work permit system, one of the most important procedure we need to implement, that is called isolation, lockout, and use of hold tags. That is why we have one permit, we call it EOLB in Saudi Aramco, equipment opening line break. Because we don't want any sort of energy to demolish, to kill our people while repairing or maintenance projects here. Either this energy is electrical, mechanical, gravity, motion, pressure. Pressure could be hydraulic, pneumatic, or any spring-loaded energy is there, or even any toxic gases, you know. And this isolation, lockout, and use of hold tag before we start repairing and maintenance is very much important to make sure no accidental startup or any energy will be come on our way while we are working, while our employees are working for that particular repairing or maintenance project, right? But remember in the number 6 point, the confined spaces, because these are the dangerous spaces, we need a comprehensive work permit system to be followed. And these confined spaces will not accept every type of lockout, tag, or isolation methods. Remember, only disconnection and blinding. These two methods are acceptable for confined space isolation. Rest of the energies like electrical, mechanical, we can use lockout tag. But once we particularly talk about confined spaces, make sure we have disconnection. That means complete isolation. Even we need to verify. And on the other side, we can use blinds, but facility made blinds, Aramco says, can only be used once. And then later you have to destroy them. And the rating of the blind, the location of the blind is very much important. And even the size of the blind. Because confined space having a lot of hazards, like engulfment, poor lighting, and slips and fall, mechanical, electrical, or even toxic gases like H2S, carbon monoxide. LEL may be above than 5% or 10%. And the problem with the confined space, mostly we don't get second chance. So for confined space safety, proactively we have 1,000 times to think, proactively what safety rules you need to follow, what kind of requirements you need to fulfill to make sure no one is going to die, especially in confined spaces. And these confined spaces can be like manholes, pipelines, excavated areas like deeper than 1.2 meter, or even the refineries, any sort of. We have even the tanks are there, oil storage tanks, gas storage tanks, and so many other. Because the definition of confined space is a space which is not designed for human occupancy, right?
Yeah.
So that means it's a limited entry and exit. So having, might be less oxygen, less than 21% as per Saudi Aramco rules and regulations, or maybe above than 23.5%. And H2S might be you have more than 10 ppm. But sometimes I tell to the companies, don't underestimate H2S, even below 10 ppm. Might be that was just a starting point, and later on H2S will accelerate because of so many other reasons. And then you will not get second chance. And sometimes the sensor might be not working well, it would be out of order. And your meters are not calibrated sometimes. But what we believe is safety is just a formality. We have T40 rattler, anybody can see, look, the T40 rattler is there. Either it is fully calibrated, working actively, doesn't matter. But now things are getting changed and people have, internal calibration and external calibration for all their measuring equipments. And they have gifts, this fixed gas detections, portable gas detectors, even the personal detectors like T40 Rattler I would mention. But these confined spaces, trust me, I always say we don't need sometime the WPRs if confined spaces are not there. Work permit receivers, the confined space safety supervisor, standby man, the authorized gas testers, the fire watcher. Why we need all these people? Because the confined spaces required qualified people to be working on it. Because it's not an ordinary place, right? And also one point I would mention, you have to bear in mind the emergency response or rescue operations in a confined space is one of the most difficult activity in the world. It's not easy. Even nowadays, latest technologies and equipment are available, but still not easy. So in the number 7 point is all about fire prevention. And the fire prevention, I hope you guys understand. The fire means is a game of triangle, like oxygen, heat and fuel, and of course chemical reaction. But what is fire prevention? You don't need to let this triangle to be meeting together. All three elements should not meet together. Keep them away or manage them in a way that there isn't any chance of fire. Because prevention is better than cure. I repeat again, prevention is better than cure. Instead of having firefighting and fire protection system, much better is to work on fire prevention system first of all. And then as a second protection shields, you must have fire protection and firefighting system. But if you don't have fire prevention system, then the other two systems could also be on stake. That means you are welcoming more fire incident. That's why you have, because you have firefighting teams available. You have sprinklers, you have fire extinguishers. So I hope you got the point. So in fire prevention, we have to understand how housekeeping can play a vital role here to prevent from fires. Let me give you a simple example. The housekeeping, the better shop floor management, the set and order, the sanitation of your hidden areas, how it can prevent. Imagine no oil spillage, no chemical spillage, how it can prevent from fire. What if you buy everything fire resistible? You are preventing from fire. Before you buy anything, you calculate how it is, how dangerous that fuel is in case of fire incident. So let me repeat again, the firefighting, the fire protection, yes, these systems must be there. But foundational system, what we required is the fire prevention system. And it starts from the design. That's why the design safety is becoming more and more important. Now our safety managers, they must be capable to understand the BOQ, the drawings, the real design of that particular building, project, road, pipeline, whatever project you are involved in. You need to understand the BOQ, the bill of quantity. What material you are buying based on which international standard. Because after all, if you benchmark international standards before you buy any services, any material, any kind of equipment even, and you are following international standards, what you are doing, you are preventing from different accidents, fire incidents, or different kind of mishaps, God forbid. Imagine if you are in a pipeline and you purchase pipes for next 20 years, your company management invested $30 million for next 30 years. Now, because of poor safety leadership or poor safety management system, just because of poor coating on the pipelines or, ignoring underground toxic gases, especially H2S, the shelf life of the pipes, instead of 30 years, they are just scrapped within 10 years. Now imagine what would happen with the investors here. Will they give you money more? Because they invested for next 30 years. They gave you money, the capital, for next 30 years, and you demolished this money because of poor safety system within 10 years. Because you were not serious how coating is important, how you have to make sure the internal inspection, the incoming inspection before you accept these pipes. You didn't do any NDT or different kind of tests to make sure the supplier didn't play with the material. I hope you got the point.
Yes, sir.
So, but what I mean is, once the word prevention is there for any system, that means it's starting from the design, it's starting from the idea, from where that journey we are going to start. Even now we are encouraging companies, please incorporate safety system while you are developing your business plan, your feasibility studies. Don't ignore safety system while even you are working on that initial documentation before even you implement your business idea. Incorporate, understand safety features, inbuilt them during the design phase, and 90% you can secure your assets. 90% you can prevent from incident and major accidents. 90%. And I have a live example in one of the projects I shared with other guys day before yesterday, that in one of the projects in Michigan State, the company sent us, me and one of my colleagues from UK office, and we went to Michigan State, USA, the Beaverton area, just to watch the supplier, the manufacturer, to make sure they will not ignore any safety feature as per international standards. Any safety device, any kind of safety sensor, even the, guarding of any moving part, they will not ignore. Even we incorporated how the area can be sensorized. If a machine is running, somebody intentionally went into the red zone area or crossed the red line, the machine should stop. And the tendency was they don't want to see any accident. And we proved it because that project, like 4 or 5 years before we completed, and until today, I'm just behind them and asking them, is there any accident? No hand injuries, no incident, because protecting the prevention system is implemented within it is well inbuilt in the design of these machines actually. Even, can you imagine, we thought about the suicidal attempts as well, intentional suicidal attempts of any employee in stress, in tensions, because tension is the biggest cancer in the world. And what we have done is we, fence that machine even from the top side. Even though the cost of the machine little bit went up, but because we were having an open budget, the company management told, we don't want to see any incident. We want complete prevention system inbuilt within that machine. And it was quite successful. I hope you got the point. Same way, if you are going to construct a building, start incorporating safety from the design phase, including during the drawing, while you are making drawing, you have to think about sprinkler system, your smoke detectors, your pipelines, the kind of water pressure you required in the pipelines, everything you need to think about proactively, and then follow them as per your BOQ. And this is what we truly need in our companies. Imagine if a building is unsafe, designed unsafely, constructed unsafely. What safety we are talking about? So through this way, we can prevent from fire incident. That is why Nfpa codes and regulations are playing vital role. They help us in design. They help us to design fire prevention system. Anybody have an idea what is Nfpa stands for?
National Fire Protection Assistant.
Excellent, Marshall. And you know what is the value of Nfpa fire specialist? Do you have any understanding what is their value?
Yeah, there is the rating system, is the 0 to 4,
Yeah.
right? The 0 is the minimum. That means for 1 is little bit, and 2, 3 dangerous, more dangerous, and extreme danger.
So the
Like
zone wise you are
we are
managing.
using for the all
Excellent.
chemicals.
What I mean is, if you are Nfpa certified fire safety specialist, your future is stable, secure. Because this is another professional, because the safety is like a sea. So in the sea, you need to decide what is your drinking capacity, and which area you need to drink. Either you want to be a safety auditor, or you want to be a safety manager, or safety consultant, or trainer, or risk assessor, or you will just be a fire specialist. What is your passion? Within safety profession, what is your passion? And once you understand your passion, focus on that area and be a specialist, be an expert of that area. And rest of the areas, like a doctor, like a general physician, he study everything, but he's specialized maybe as a heart specialist, maybe as an eye specialist, or some others, right?
Yeah.
So I hope you got the point. So within the safety, you need to see, or might be your interest is in environment. You want to work to reduce carbon footprints, because this planet we are demolishing, we are destroying this planet because of poor knowledge about environmental issues, or we don't have understanding how global warming, how the temperature is exceeding, why we have more earthquake, why we have more floods and heavy rains, and no more rainy season. You never know when the rain is coming. Because we are killing this planet by taking more facilities and damaging the whole natural structure and zone layers, to avoid from even the radiations from the sun beams, I would say. That is why in Saudi Arabia, a lot of skin injuries, the skin burns and rashes, and even the coverall and the uniform we design to avoid from these radiations. But still, people are facing terrible, even the pimples and plenty of other issues. And it's an uncomfortable condition if they have no idea how to tackle it. So in the general safety, one more topic is there, like traffic and vehicle safety. I'll not talk too much about it because this is quite a simple topic. We need to follow safety, defense, driving defensive rules actually.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we all understand, because But make sure within Saudi Aramco, you understand their traffic rules first of all.
Right.
Let me give you an example. Imagine you are driving near to a refinery or near to a pipeline. What should be the speed of your car?
15 kilometers.
Excellent. Now, if you are in a Saudi Aramco residential compounds and you are driving a car, what should be the speed limit there to follow?
As per his traffic policies,
Exactly. Exactly. So
Yeah.
what I mean is they settled predefined all different traffic rules within Saudi Aramco territory.
Right.
Now,
Yes.
if you are stopping at the petrol station just to fill up petrol in your car, do you remember this 15 minutes wait route before you start refilling? You need to
No,
cool down your
sometimes.
engine for 15 minutes. That means they have settled further safety rules as well. Even if you're stopping your car for refilling,
Yeah.
make sure you cool down for 15 minutes and then refill to avoid from any fire incidents. And the emergency kit for each car. I mean, see the list of emergency tools, you need in a car.
We should need emergency tools in our cars, but we did not. Sometimes we ignore that. That is the also problem.
Absolutely right. One of my friend, he got fined, but not having fire extinguisher in his car. And first time I heard, oh, that means Saudi traffic rules are being implemented gradually. At least I got one good example that they find him not having his fire extinguisher in the car. So guys, these compressed gas cylinders, I call them the tickling bombs,
You're right.
The tickling bombs. If you mishandle them or you don't take care. Now, let me give you a practical example just to involve you all in the discussion. Imagine you purchase 1,000 compressed gas cylinders from Riyadh, okay? Because manufacturer is there, filler is there. So they manufactured and they filled. And the cylinders, all cylinders are acetylene cylinders and oxygen cylinders mixed together but separately stored. Now, 1,000 cylinders, you have settled the terms X factory. X factory means once your cylinders are loaded on the containers, the manufacturer's responsibility is over. Let me repeat again. You have agreed the terms X factory, X manufacturing facility, that once the compressed gas cylinders are loaded, the responsibility is over of manufacturer. That means you have time to inspect everything during loading, even after the loading. But once you left their site, their factory, now they have no responsibility. Now my question is, you are a safety manager. How you will ensure the safety on the road, because 500-kilometer travel is there and 1,000 gas cylinders you have acetylene and oxygen. How are you going to ensure safety on the road through your driver, through your transporting company, officials? How are you going to ensure safety while you are unloading, going to unload at your facility? How are you going to make sure not a single cylinder is going to fall down and blasting, God forbid?
We should provide the escort.
Okay. So starting at the roadside, at the road, what instruction you're gonna give to the driver and the transporting company that please take care of yourself and our property, our cylinders as well.
Yeah.
I hope you got the point. So at every stage, every activity, every process, you need to ensure separate safety proactively. Either you are using third party, subcontractors, whosoever is getting involved. You just need to note down for which process who is getting involved. And then divide this process in 3 stages: before, during, and after. What safety rules you need to follow before starting the process? Once the process has started, during the process, what rules you need to ensure? And right after the process, how you will, clean up the area, or how you will wrap up actually everything right after the process. And these processes can be 1,000 different processes. Sometimes one activity is a kind of one process, right? So I hope you got the point. That is why risk assessments are very much important, because it's a proactive approach. We can have some leading indicators also through risk assessment. Or lagging indicators by studying our data analysis, different kind of accident records, so many other theories we have, internal audits or external audits. So this data will help us how we can put some lagging indicators to improve our safety culture or safety system even. But this compressed gas cylinder, once going to be unloaded, unloading is another process. Now, once unloaded, you are going to transport internally through some trolleys. This is another process. You are going to stack up on the racks. This is another process. Or you are going to put them in the stands, for storage area. So storage is another process. I hope you got the point. Now, you are going to issue this one cylinder out of 1,000 to a welder. Now, this is another process. How the welder is going to use it, that is another process. The flashback arrester, the function of flashback arrester, the functionality, complications of flashback arrester, how important they are, this is another process to make sure nothing would go wrong. But before every process, before every activity in the world, before every work of the world, what you have to think of, what you have to ask yourself, what can go wrong? Simple. Once you will start habitually asking this question to yourself, what can go wrong while starting this activity? Things would be clear. And now the question is, if you are storing settling cylinders along with oxygen cylinders, what should be the distance between them?
15 meters.
Sorry?
15 meters.
15 meters. Okay. Any other opinion, guys?
Between the oxygen cylinder and
Or oxidizers or settling cylinders, what should be the distance in storage area? I'm talking about storage area, not at the trolley, because at the trolley sometime I've noted the welder have oxygen, nitrogen, and even settling sometime all together. What he believes is flashback arrester is there, but what if the function of the flashback arrester is not there? So then the ticking bombs, they will not spare you, right? God forbid. And now the question is, how we have to store these cylinders? Upright position or horizontal? Vertical or horizontal?
horizontal. Horizontal.
Okay. Will you not store upright position like vertical, 90 degree?
Yes,
The
90,
filled one
sorry.
I'm talking
Yes,
about. The
90,
filled one,
90
not the
degree.
empty one.
Yeah, 90 degree.
Okay. And if the cylinder is used and empty, then horizontal is acceptable. Okay, at some level.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
Yes.
mostly it is
Yes, sir.
recommended upright position. Now another question arises: how are we gonna store oxidizers or acetylene or other hazardous cylinders together? The minimum distance in the storage area, minimum distance 20 feet or 6.1 meter minimum. Because what the standard says, follow the minimum standards, safety standard. The maximum is your own choice. Like minimum requirement is there must be a
1
fire
meter.
evacuation drill. Let me give you an example. Once in a year. But you can have it once in a month. That is your choice, right? Your best practice. But the law and
Yeah.
regulations and Aramco standards, they are telling us minimum safety requirement.
Yeah.
Okay, so Mr. Gulam, you also need to send me your ID and one picture, for certificate and ID.
I have already sent you pictures, sir. I already
Oh,
sent
okay.
you
You have
my
my,
pictures.
do
Yes,
you
sir.
have my, this WhatsApp number?
WhatsApp? Yes, sir. I already sent you on
Oh,
in
okay,
your
then
WhatsApp.
I'll see
Yeah.
right after this time.
Yeah.
Okay, now the next topic number 10, which is also very much important, especially in oil and gas, the hazardous materials. Now the hazardous materials, they are basically in 3 different forms. Anybody have an idea what are these 3 different forms?
Again, sir, again?
The hazardous materials are available at our site in 3 different forms, 3 different shapes. My question is, what are these forms? Any idea? Let me give you an example. The hazardous materials means the chemicals.
Yeah.
Now the chemicals can be in a form of what?
Acid.
Like in form of liquid. Do we have chemicals in form of liquid? Of course, yes. Like we have petrol, we have diesel, we have ink, we
Yeah.
have thinner, we have so many other chemicals in form of liquid. Now, do we have in form of solid? Like
No,
combustible dust,
Yeah.
or the combustible materials, but they are kind of chemicals actually. Or the coated materials, including walls sometimes, if they are not fire resistant, coating is not there. So that means in form of liquid, in form of solid, and in form of gas also chemicals are available at our site. And the most dangerous element, we can quite easily manage, this liquid form and solid form. But it's really dangerous to avoid and tackle this gas form actually. Because I call it invisible enemy. And this invisible enemy, like H2S, is colorless. Even though it's heavier than air, 20% heavier than air. So mostly we will find in the lower areas, like in confined spaces, or in mostly excavated area deeper than 4 feet. Because we know it is heavier than air. But still invisible. Without gas tester, still we can't know what is the ppm level of this H2S. Same way, a lot of other toxic gases are there, which are invisible, but they are hazardous material for sure. That is why I have a straightforward strategy which I can give to all of you. If you have 50 different chemicals, including invisible chemicals like H2S, carbon monoxide, or any other methane or ammonia or whatever other toxic gases are there, find out the CHB document in Saudi Aramco. And don't shy to ask from your safety manager. If he doesn't share or if he doesn't have, then don't hesitate to ask Aramco officials. Remove your unwanted perceived fears. Because Aramco is there as a client to support us, not to dominate, not to just, stress our brains. They are there to support us. But we ourselves intentionally are not confident to talk to them politely, diplomatically, and confidently, right?
Right.
If any lacking knowledge is there or any technicality issues are with you, instead of hiding, ask Aramco professionals. Otherwise, deal with your technical areas and departments. And like if you are not electrical engineer, but issues, some hazards belong to electrical, and you need the right set of solutions, no harm to ask and get involved your electrical engineers. Because we are a supportive department. We as a safety department, we are the supportive department for all the individuals, for all the departments, for every nook and corner of the company. Like no one can say to safety department, oh, this is none of your business. You're not relevant. This is not relevant to you. Even if a company is buying an official chair, still they should consider and talk to the safety department. Look, we are going to buy this chair. Recommend us as per the ergonomic and DSC standards, what type of chair we should buy. They should ask them. I hope you got the point.
Yes, sir.
Even sometimes I encourage to the companies, once you prepare a PO, purchase order, or once a purchase requisition is initiated by any department, send it to the safety department to review. Either the specs are available, either the safety specs, what are important to this particular tool, material, or any kind of element. Make sure it is well understood, and you can guide them proactively. Instead of the item is purchased, then you conducted risk assessment and found everything is wrong, everything is unsafe. Because proactively it was not discussed with you, right? Like your company purchased a forklift. Your company purchased a forklift.
बाद में थोड़ा सा खाली चावल रख दो, एक रोटी.
But the PO is not discussed with you, what type of forklift you are going to buy, how much ton should be there, what would be the tire quality, the forks and the safety systems and warning signs and blinking, different kind of signals, which brand they are going to buy. If that is not recommended by a safety and quality department, it's a huge gap in the system. But mostly companies, they don't share POs with the safety department because of bossy culture. Because they think, why should we give more authorities to safety department? Because we need only documentation from them. It's a formality just to show off to the customers. Safety is not a formality. It's a way of business excellence. It's a way of to ensure your quality, productivity. It's a way up to reduce your absenteeism, in the company, to improve quality, productivity at your project. That is the whole purpose of safety system. If you are not achieving these goals, then yes, safety system is a formality, but only for your company. That is why the hand tools and the power tools, whatever you are buying, the specs must be approved by the quality and safety department. And the hazards and risks must be evaluated proactively, and then see in the design phase how you can minimize the risk, how you can minimize or eliminate different hazards, proactively by redesigning the machinery rather than falling blindly whatever designed by the manufacturer, you purchase simply. And you are happy with that. Later on, you conducted risk assessment. No, you are talking, oh, this moving belt is not fenced. Oh, this backup warning indicator is not there. All these things proactively you need to agree and highlight in advance. I hope you got the point. I'm
Yes,
talking
sir.
about real ideal safety system. What is the current situation? I'm not, talking about that. The reality is entirely different. I understand. I'm also a practical person like you. But as a trainer in the session, we are talking about ideal safety management system. How should it be working as per CSM, Construction Safety Manual of Saudi Aramco? Now, same way, if you have material handling, how you are going to handle the materials? Here, I would love to give an example. Imagine you have 5 male employees and 3 female employees, and all are working together, and the activity.
Recording in progress.
Yeah. Hello, you want to say something? Hello, guys. You want to say something?
No, sir. It's okay.
Oh,
I got it.
okay. Maybe some distortion is
Okay,
there
sir.
because some
Yeah,
mics
some
are,
distortion is there here.
yeah. So let me just mute if anyone is unmuted. So later on
Yeah.
we can, yeah. So we
Yeah,
can
maybe
avoid this.
sometime have other network problem. That's why.
Yeah, sir. No problem. I just muted
Okay, sir.
mostly.
Okay, sir.
So this material handling, let's take a live practical example. I told, imagine if you have 5 male employees and 3 female employees, but all 8 employees have similar activity to lift some weight and put onto the racks, or they are the packers actually. So what is the recommended weight you will allow them during packing, for 8 hours? Especially let's talk about male first. How much maximum and minimum weight you should allow them to just wear while working? Any idea to anyone? Or you never thought it?
Repeat it again, question, sir.
The question is, you have 8
Yeah.
employees, 5 are male, 3 are female, and they are the packers.
Okay.
What they have to do
Okay.
is, once the packing is done, they have to lift the box and put onto the rack.
Okay.
My question is, what should be the
Okay.
weight of that box for male and for female? Or should be the same?
It should be the same.
Should be the same. Okay.
For the,
And how much it should be?
it should be at per depend of, sir. As per depends of requirements. Not more than 5 kg or 10 kg.
Okay.
It's like
Let's
that.
see.
So if you
Okay.
will do for materials handling, it's we will do for the standard. Mostly of the
Yeah, we
standard
will look for the
up to
standard.
50
Yes,
kg
actually.
can lift as a material handling only. If the
If
above that one,
Yeah.
If the weight of the box is 30 kg, will you accept it for 8 hours? Continuous lifting. If the weight of the box is
will
30
for
kg,
hours.
yeah, 30 kg,
80
and they are the
kg,
packers, or sorry, stackers, They just take the box and put onto the pallet and wrap and just stack up through trolleys and move to the waiting area or kind of finished goods area. My question is, will you allow them to lift 30 kg all the time, 8 hours?
No, actually no. We should have we can use the trolleys or we can get help from someone. We should
Excellent.
use the equipment
Excellent.
to, yeah, because it is the back strengths have lots
Absolutely.
of problems.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
But
it
the
is not
standard
allowed to
says,
the, yeah,
but the standard
yeah.
says there shouldn't be maximum, there shouldn't be the weight more than 25 kg for male and 16 kg, 16 kg for females. This is what
Female,
standard
huh?
says. But we have to
Okay, sir.
work below the standard. Still, we
Yeah.
should not kill our people. Or 25 is the standard, 25 they have to lift every time. We should find out some mechanical equipment, like you mentioned, to avoid manual handling. So material handling
Yeah.
is a huge subject, is a kind of innovative area, I would say. We can innovate a lot of equipment to make our employees easy and to increase productivity and output at the projects. Otherwise, our employees would be in danger. Imagine if a person is lifting 30 kg for 8 hours, continuously packing is there. What would happen to his muscle, cramp and so many other issues?
Yes. Yes.
And absenteeism graph will go up because every third day
No.
he will not be able to come to the site, right?
Right, sir.
So guys, the general safety, the last topic is heat stress. That means especially in the summer, that is the reason the Saudi government and Saudi Aramco, they publish a circular. No one is allowed to work from 12 to 3 or 12 to 4 in the midday, even afternoon.
Yeah.
The reason is this heat stress is one of terrible medical emergency, because of dehydration, because of heat stroke. And if we don't have heat stress plan well implemented, then things could be out of control several times. And the first aid is also not easy if it's a heat emergency or heat stroke is there. Even you cool down the person, even you have a shady area, even you try different things, but still it's a very panic situation. So what is the best strategy to have a heat stress plan proactively? Guide your people when they have to drink water, why they have to drink water. Even I would say how to drink the water, that should also be teach up here.
Yeah.
Let me give you an example. Imagine you have 40 employees. You gave them 20 crates of water. And the water is lying under 40-degree temperature for the last 3 days. And now you are telling to the guys, drink the same water. And the water is packed in plastic bottles, a source of cancer, right?
Yeah.
No, the thirsty guys, of course, they will obey your order and they will start drinking. And this is the terrible reason of food poisoning, a lot of other issues internally with the employees. Same way, in one of the company, I noted, the activity required after every 30, even the procedure was saying they have to drink some glucose, some tang, or after every 30 minutes, or because this is kind of a process need. They are doing welding under certain temperature. But unfortunately, one of the welder, he didn't follow the rule. He thought first he will finish the job and then will go to drink. And the decision was only late for 5 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes maximum. And he suddenly became unconscious and later on died immediately because heat stroke is a medical emergency and sometimes hospital is not nearby, and our first aiders, they are only certified, they are not practically sound. I hope you got the point. They are third party certified, they have ID, but in case of sudden emergency, they are the second victim, sometimes, God forbid, because they got panic and they don't know how to tackle practically all these issues. That's why the heat stress plan must be there, and clarity is what level of temperature, what kind of rules you are going to implement. Imagine if the temperature is 52 degree or above than 50 degree, what rule you're gonna mix up? Will you allow your people to work? Imagine if the temperature is 39 to 51 degrees. What rules you're gonna implement? What would be the break time?
It
Will you give
is,
break after every 20 minutes
yes,
for 10 minutes and tell them to drink water and have some relax and then move on if you still want to make them bound to work. And imagine if the temperature is 29 degree to 38 degree or 37 degree, what rules you are going to implement? You know, the ideal temperature for official
yes,
positions, we love to keep temperature like 16 degree to 22 degree maximum. But our employees, they are very much happy if temperature is below 29 or below 25. That is ideal temperature for them. That is why in winter season, the
yeah,
productivity gone up because people love to work, the temperature is comfortable.
yes,
But in summer season, things are very terrible. But project
yes,
managers still they need output. More shortcuts are still there. And this is how the accidents are still prevailing in the industries. And they have safety department to put everything on their shoulder, or this is your fault. Okay, guys, in the construction industry, civil area is very much important, like excavation, shoring, scaffolding, ladders and step ladders, temporary walking and working surfaces, fall protection. So let's talk about excavation. What do you think? What kind of hazards could be there? Excavation is a process, right? So before, during, and after, what
The
possible
most of
strategy?
the dangerous hazard is the caving.
Okay, so that means
So the
cave in,
excavation is the, yeah, the
underground
excavation is
cables,
the, yeah, underground cable
toxic
utility,
gases,
toxic gases,
and imagine if
and
unqualified people are working and heavy equipments are not
right,
tested
right,
properly, or backhoe is not,
yes, yes,
or operators are not certified or
yes,
trained. So many hazards, right?
yeah, so many
That
happen,
is
sir.
that is
Right,
why we need some technical implementations like shoring, venting, shielding, sloping. That's why we
right,
have pre-excavation checklist. That is why we have permit system whenever
yeah,
excavated area is deeper than 4 feet. That is why we make sure we have civil engineers working with us, geological engineers, the mud engineers, to make sure they understand the type of soil. That is why we understand the type of soil, and that is why the value of type of soil decide what type of shoring, venting, shielding, what method will help us to keep our people safe, not to cave in. Like imagine if you are using sloping, let's take an example, and the soil type is C, that means which is least stable, like the upper layer, like sand, the weakest one. If that soil is there and you are going to go for sloping of an excavated area and the depth is 10 feet, the excavated area, the depth is 10 feet, and you are going to use sloping method. My question is, for soil type C, what would be the sloping angle? For soil type C, which is the weakest soil.
it should be the 65 degree.
Okay. Any other opinion, please? Sloping angle for soil type C, an excavated area of deeper than 10 feet. What should be? So remember, guys,
Deeper than 10 feet.
for
Yeah.
soil type C, 34 degree must be there. 34 degree. And if it is
34
soil
degree.
type B, which is a little bit stronger than C,
Yes.
what should be the sloping angle? Can you note down? It should be 45 degree. Okay.
45 degree. Okay.
Sloping angle for soil type B, 45 degrees. Sloping angle for soil type C, 34 degree. No, sloping angle for soil type
34
A,
degree.
which is stronger than C and B. A little bit more stronger than B. Sloping angle for A. What should be the sloping angle for soil type A? Can you note down? It must be 53 degree. 53 degree. And if it is a stable rock, that means the hardest one, then we can use 90 degree sloping. That means 90 degree angle. 90 degree cut. Because it's a rock. Stable rock is there. Not the weakest one, because the rocks also have some complications now. So I hope you got the point. So now another point we can share. Imagine the excavated area is 20 feet deep. Excavated area is 20 feet deep. You are going to park heavy equipment, your crane, your excavator. How far you have to park? While the depth is 20 feet of an excavated area or the trench.
Should be the 20 feet.
Yeah, the depth is 20 feet. How far you have to?
The more than 20 feet, sir. The park should be the 20 feet. If the excavation is the deeper 20 feet, it should be the park more than 20 feet.
Okay. Brilliant, mashallah. Now, one more question. If an excavated area is 20 feet deep, same depth is there. Now you are going to scaffold. You are going to erect scaffolding. How far you have to erect your scaffold? Let me repeat again. The trench, the excavated area is 20 feet deep. Now you are going to erect your scaffolding. How far from the edge of the excavation you need to erect your scaffolding? Because these are safety requirements, safety regulations which we need to follow.
Yeah. Actually, I don't have in my this questions.
No problem. That's not my purpose to check your knowledge. That's not my purpose. I'm just putting the question to see if we have a similar understanding. Otherwise, my job is to guide you all the requirements. That's not a matter. So remember 1.5 times, not percentage, 1.5 times. Like if depth is 20 feet, you need to erect your scaffolding 30 feet away
30 feet
from the edge of the excavated area. That means you are adding 10 more feet in 20. If depth is 15 feet, how much you need to add? Because 1.5 times. Like if the depth is 10 feet, you need to erect 15 feet away. My question is, if the depth is 15 feet, 1.5, how far you have to erect your scaffolding?
$22.5, sir.
Excellent, mashallah. So this is how you need to be able to calculate quite immediately. Now another question.
Yes, sir.
You have underground hazards. Underground might be a toxic pipelines, might be underground cables. Now,
Yeah.
how far you have to park your equipment?
Three meters.
Minimum. Even depth is
Minimum,
not
yeah.
mentioned here, only underground hazard.
Mm.
So minimum 3 meters.
Yeah.
Whenever
3
you
meters,
get
yeah.
the understanding the underground hazard, minimum distance
Mm.
automatically should be 3 meters.
Mm.
And
3
the
meters,
second
yeah.
criteria is the depth. If the depth is 20 feet, 20 feet away. If the depth is 30 feet, 30 feet away. But for
30 feet,
scaffolding,
yeah. Yeah.
you need to erect 1.5 times away. Okay.
1.5 times, yeah.
Now, another point I'm just thinking what I can share about excavation is, which is important for hand digging. If you're not
Yeah.
using cable detectors or metal detectors, while it should be, and sometimes even drawings are not there, Aramco gonna say, sorry, we don't have drawings. Manage your project by yourself. So you, for underground hazard, you start using cable detectors, you know, metal detectors.
Yeah.
Otherwise, the third
Yeah.
parameter is hand digging. So
Yes.
safe hand digging is very much important.
Yes.
So this safe hand digging is one of the critical activity, and several incidents happened because this electricity is kind of a magnet. It like stretch to you towards himself because it's a kind of energy. It's kind of a
Yeah.
mechanism energy, like we call it very this like an electrical energy means to pull you up towards itself here.
Right.
So it's a kind of a mechanism which is working along. That's why whenever there is a overhead crane touch to the overhead power lines, or even the wall mounted crane or whatever, whenever they touch to the overhead power line, the whole area is energized.
Mm.
And if someone is walking there for escaping, he's no more, because he gave the way to the energy and the electricity passing through the body. That is why we have to understand the distance between our work and the distance between our scaffolding, between our excavation or electricity. What should be that distance also? And for this reason, if you can remember, below 300 volts, if that energy is there, let me take an example of scaffolding. The second topic, you erected scaffolding, and now the power lines are nearby. What should be the distance between power lines and your scaffolding if the volts are below 300 volts?
Should be 10 meters, sir. Up to the, no, not 10 meters, sir. It is,
Because it is like 300 volts, but remember 3 meter
yeah.
or 10 feet, okay, minimum. These are minimum
Minimum 3
requirement. If you keep more,
Mm.
you are more safer, by the way.
Yeah. Minimum is the 3 meters.
3 meter up to 300 volts, but 300 to up to 50,000 volts, you need to make it double,
10 meters.
like
So 6 meters.
6.1 meter or 20 feet. Okay,
Yes.
this is again minimum. If you keep more, that is more safer.
Up to the, yeah.
Up to 50,000, like 301 to 50,000 volts. Within this range, if voltage are there, you need to maintain the distance 20 feet or 6.1 meter. Now another question arises. 50,001 to 250,000 volts. That means up to 250,000 volts from 50,001. Minimum distance must be 25 feet or 7.6 meter.
Yeah.
Okay, guys.
Yes, sir.
And 250,000 volts to onward, remember the criteria. 4 inches per 1,000 volts. That means per 3,000 volts, 1 feet, 12 inches. 4 inches per 1,000 volts after 250,000. Because up to 250,000 volts, 25 feet is already standardized.
Yeah.
If you get 1,000 more after 250, that you have 251. Add 4 inches more. You got one more 1,000. That means 50,002. 250,002, sorry. So add 4 inches more. So per 1,004 inches, you need to increase the distance. I hope it's clear.
Again, sir, is the 250,000 above?
250,000 above. If you get 1,000 per 1,000,
Yeah.
per 1,000 4 inches distance you need to increase.
Per 1,000 4 inches. Huh?
Exactly.
Yes.
It will give you a
I
straightforward
got it.
criteria, and these are minimum
Yeah.
requirements.
This is minimum. Yeah. Okay.
But if you follow more distance, that means you are more safer, Marshal. Inshallah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Now, this scaffolding, the terrible hazards we have as per Saudi Aramco theories are two: fall, collapse. I repeat again, as per Saudi Aramco theories, two prominent hazards are highlighted: fall and collapse. Fall means can be a person, can be an equipment, can be any tool to be fall from the scaffolding platform.
Yeah.
Or other hazard is collapse.
Collapse.
Now, fall, we all understand how we have to scare, what is the benefit of toe boards and everything, you know, and mid rail and top rail and everything. But I'm more concerned to talk about what are the real root causes of collapse, because collapse is a disaster and many incidents are still happening. So for the collapse, let's take an example of wind speed first of all. One factor, wind speed.
Yes.
For scaffolding. What standard says what should be the speed of wind for scaffolding?
Not more than 65.
Exactly. So 65. Now, more than that means more chances of collapse, falling.
Yeah, more chances of the collapse.
Now, let's take another factor, uneven floor, which is not leveled while you are erecting your scaffolding.
Yes.
The floor is not leveled, or the strength of the floor, the capacity, the lifting capacity of the floor is miscalculated.
Yes.
That would be another reason of collapse. Because just 5 to 10 degree angle, if scaffolding is lean up, it's all over by its own weight because of poor balance at the foundation. Even though we have seal board, sole board, we have base plates, we put a lot of bracing, you know, we follow a lot of standards. Even the material condition is excellent. But if you miscalculated the weight of the soil or the capacity of the soil, the lifting capacity of the soil, horrible. Or another reason of collapse, just take the overweight. The scaffolding is designed for 200 kg. Let's take an example, maximum weight, even
Yeah.
4 times higher weight, maximum is 200 kg. And you are putting 300 kg or 400 kg. No?
Yes.
More chances of collapse. No, another reason, the weather, the heavy rain, the floods, the slippage of soil, near to excavated area. That's why we discuss the distance, If the depth of the trench is 20 feet, you have to erect your scaffolding 30 feet away. That means 1.5 times
Yes.
away from the edge of the excavation, right? Now, the
Right, sir.
scaffolding, we all know, have a color tagging like red, green, and yellow. And I hope you guys understand, whenever we see green tag, that indicates the scaffolding is okay to use.
Yes.
But if that green tag is wrongly displayed, or again miscalculation is there, or the inspector is not qualified, or scaffolding supervisor is not qualified, or might be they are qualified but technically not sound to calculate what can go wrong, but they place green tag. And green tag, what the standard says as per Saudi Aramco, you don't need to use full body harness.
Yes.
So we are risking our life because we have no idea, because human brains are involved, right? And human brains have tendency of errors. So as a trainer, I always recommend, even if you see green tag, no harm to use full body harness with proper tie off. Because green tag is a guarantee of scaffolding that it is erected as per the standards, but it is not the guarantee that you will not fall down.
Right.
So that is why there is no harm to use full body harness, even if a green tag is there. Now, yellow tag, we all know full body harness is mandatory. Even though the scaffolding is erected as per the standard, but still we need to be careful. And
You know, sir,
red
when I
tag,
was working in the Sabik, yeah.
and whenever we see,
when I was, yeah.
yes, please go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, sir, when I was working in the Sabik plant, even there is a procedure, even there is a green tag, you must be wear the full body harness. They are
Excellent.
requirement for the Sabik.
And I don't know either my statement would be liked by Saudi Aramco, yes or no, but Sabik
Yeah.
standards are more
Yeah.
straightforward than Saudi Aramco.
Yeah.
Yeah, but now
Okay, sir, go ahead,
70% shares already purchased by Saudi Aramco. So Sabik is,
Yeah.
part of Aramco.
Yes, sir.
Okay, guys.
Oh.
Now this ladders and this red tag, we all know, whenever we see red tag, means only erectors or dismantlers are allowed, or the scaffolding inspector, because he is the one going to decide, because sometimes inspection is failed. Supervisor plays yellow tag or green tag, but scaffolding inspector, after like he visited again, because 4 hours before it was good to put green tag, but after re-inspection, might be after sandstorm, might be after rain, they re-inspected and found the scaffolding is unsafe, and he placed red tag instead of green now, because green life is over because of unsafe condition, right? Now one more question arises here. Who is responsible up to 6 meter the scaffolding inspection? Who is responsible?
It should be the supervisor, sir.
Who
Up
is
to 6
responsible for
meter.
scaffolding inspection? Up to 6 meters.
Above 6 meter is a. It should be the level 1, sir.
Yes, the supervisor, scaffolding
Yeah,
supervisor.
Supervisor.
Now, who is responsible for inspection after 6 meter or 6 meter to onward? Scaffolding inspector. Okay,
Engineer.
that's also you need to remember.
Inspector.
And what is the
Okay.
validity of any tag? The validity of green tag, maximum
Valid
2 weeks.
1 week or 2 weeks.
In SABIC, 1 week. I agree.
Yeah,
But in Aramco, it's 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Yeah. Even in Royal Commission is also 1 week.
Mm.
And why Aramco have 2 weeks? Because they are using tubes and coupler. So they believe it's more stronger, more easy to dismantle, more easy to erect. That's what they believe. And they can remove any part which is not okay, or any coupler. They can change any pipeline which is not good enough. So easy to amend actually. That's what they believe. And also for seal board, sole board, for planks, they have all international standards to be followed. Same way Royal Commission and SABIC also follow, but the inspection rules having some very strong variations between Aramco, SABIC and Royal Commission.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Now, this ladders and step ladders. First of all, let's talk about ladder. What is the ladder's angle recommended?
1 of 4.
Exactly. That means 75 degree. Now, point of
Yes,
contact
sir.
for the ladder while we climb up.
3 contact 1.
That means 2 hands, 1 feet, or 1 hand, 2 feet.
One leg. Yeah, 2. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. And what about the top? How much at the top edge we need to extend the ladder?
Maximum is 1 meter.
1 meter. And we will not use these steps, for working. And the foot must be
Yeah.
secure. The ladder's material must be good enough. The condition overall need to be inspected before every use. These are the requirements of Saudi Arabia. Same way for step ladder. But for step ladder and the ladders, of course, still Aramco is facing different fall health, fall injuries or fall incidents actually. That is why they are more concerned. Even if you are erecting ladder along with scaffolding, either it's a mobile scaffolding, either it's a system scaffolding, make sure the tie off and the angle of the ladder is as per the standards. But every type of ladder before each use must be inspected. And I always recommend to the companies, you must be having a list of ladders, list of scaffolding materials, or list of excavated areas, list of heavy equipments, list of your employees, list of your chemicals. So the more lists you have, more easy management it would be for you for that area, because you can easily numberize, you can easily make them color coded for easy traceability. So you can have a very strong system if you work on master list, because you will categorize the whole area. Even the list of areas, list of prohibited areas should also be. No harm to prepare. So everybody knows in advance. Instead of putting everything into SOPs and nobody have time to read. Better to, I hope you got the point. Better to summarize the knowledge and display them, and people can take some interest. Otherwise, people hate long stories, to be very honest, especially the written stories.
Right.
Because everybody don't have a reading hobby,
Yeah.
So temporary walking and working surfaces, yes, there shouldn't be any slipping hazard, there shouldn't be any spillage. A poor design for the walking and working surfaces not be acceptable. If any manhole is there, it shouldn't be unattended, shouldn't be unbarricaded. Any lift up area more than 1 meter, it must have a barricaded area. And if it is 1.6 meter, the complete fall protection system we need to follow. Fall body harness became mandatory. The fall arrest system is mandatory, right? Then we can avoid this
Yes, sir.
walking and working surfaces hazards. And for fall protection, we all know while working at height, we need to protect ourselves through lifelines, through full body harness, or any working platform, including scaffolding. We need to make sure we have complete mechanism well implemented to ensure fall protection. But remember my words, fall protection even today is the #1 cause of fatalities globally, still. And this fall is not always fall from the height. Even a person is slip off at the floor, directly hit to the machine, and is no more.
Yeah. Yes,
Or a
sir.
sudden fall from a 2 feet height, sometimes sudden fall, and the heartbeat no more. So that is why maximum we need to train our people to avoid from fall, because fall is the #1 cause of fatalities. And one of the biggest reason is the shortcuts. If the ladder's
Yes.
size is not good, ladder size is short, no need to be a hero there.
Yeah.
Better to get the right suitable ladder, right?
Right, sir.
Same way, if you are using scaffolding, don't compromise if a mid rail is not there. And one of the gentlemen, I noted, the top rail was there and he removed because this top rail was little bit irritating him to work, on a different wall actually. So he removed by himself, no permission from anyone, because scaffolding erection contractor was entirely different. And he didn't bother to take permission because what he thought, I will remove just nut bolts and put again, right after working. And during that time, we just catch it up and we ask, how come you can dismantle and still working there? If you have any problem, you call to the scaffolding company and they will resolve your issue. And from that day, I started teaching, don't do anything you are not trained for, you are not authorized for, especially in Aramco.
Right.
That's why we need a complete protection system. And fall protection, especially the rescue operations, again, one of the difficult activities.
Yeah.
So we need some rescue operation drills also. In our response team, people must be capable how to protect people from, how to rescue them actually, even after having fall. Because more time they'll be with the full body harness, their muscle would be cramped, even paralysis could also be there because of jerks and this sudden drop. So concrete construction mixing is important, the material quality is important, the qualified staff must be there. The way we use that concrete material, the way we are designing as per the drawings, the same we need to follow the formulas as per the international standards, benchmark via BOQ again. That's why we need more civil engineers and the right set of chemical engineers also on board to make sure the right mixture of, many companies you will be noticing what they do is they are just concrete mixers. They don't do anything else. They mix your concrete and deliver at your construction site. And now that industry is also finishing up. How? Now the same mixing industry, they are building the pillars, the blocks, the walls, ready-made walls, ready-made roof already is there. So overnight you can build a building. But still, the more lifting and rigging and lifting activity, that means more hazards, So whenever we are adding any activity or process, we have to make sure the risk assessment is there and right set of control are well implemented proactively rather than waiting for the accident, then doing risk assessment and implementing now new controls along with the existing one, because existing controls were insufficient, miscalculated, and now we are re-implementing more controls. Same way, steel erection is a process, but very dangerous, especially in the summer season. So while having steel erection, the material storage, the material handling, the manual handling, the qualified staff, all these things matters a lot. Same way, abrasive blasting is a typical process. It's a hot work. And we need qualified people, especially as per Saudi Aramco coating inspector level 1, we required who will be approving the operators and make sure they are fully qualified and the full body, like the complete hood is being used along with the SCABA and SABA for continuous supply of oxygen, because this abrasive blasting is creating a rusty dust, which is very toxic and also create poor visibility and highly noisy activity.
Yes.
That means we need ear muff and earplugs. And also it can create ignition source because it's a hot work. So ignition source, more chances of fire hazard. So we need a, hot work permit and follow hot work permit rules even. Same way for painting and coating, especially in confined space, we have to be very much careful. Because painting means mostly the painters, they have no idea what is going in the air. Imagine if a person started painting a room and after 1 hour started smoking and have no idea what is in the air. I hope you got the point. Because the area is fully flammable and you started smoking,
Yes,
or you have this electric plug-in because welding is going to be started. No ventilation, no isolation, nothing. No gas testing, no work permit, because we are the experienced people. We know what I'm going to do. And nobody is watching us, especially at the night shift. I noted, especially in manufacturing industries in Saudi Arabia, mostly incidents are happening at the night shift. Because only one foreman is there or one supervisor is there. So if one foreman and one safety supervisor is there at the night shift, how they can ensure safety of other 100 employees or more than 50 machines? I hope you got the point. We have to be careful, especially in the second shifts, when mostly the management is not available. Same way, any hot work like cutting, welding, brazing, proactively, we need to make sure the hot work permit is there, the fire watcher is there, fire watcher knows how to use fire extinguisher, and make sure he knows he has to stay 30 minutes after the hot work. And also make sure you are not starting any hot work in the confined space whenever the LEL is above 0%.
Yes.
We need LEL all the time 0%, especially in confined space while doing hot work. And for the road works, of course, we must be familiar how to do road construction. I mean, this is more easy to learn, by the way, because Whenever we travel around, our eyes are telling us every time something new, especially at the night, how the road works are going on and how they're going to make sure, how they're going to manage traffic, especially the heavy traffics while the road construction is going on, how they give divert and how they are using heavy equipments to complete the project and what level of qualified people they are using. So if you will be expert in road construction, again, your future is secure. Because after every 10, 20 years, again, road construction. Same roads are going to be reconstructed. So it's an evergreen industry.
Yes.
So same way piling operation and coffer dams, explosive materials and demolition. This demolition, actually, I always mention, before you accept any renovation projects or demolition project, make sure you have, this, we call it fibers actually. The fibers, which are very toxic, for our lungs actually. These are toxic fibers. I don't remember exactly the name now. But these fibers need to be re-evaluated, and even building stability certification in advance need to be verified. Even the BOQ of that building or that area also need to be reconsidered. What kind of material they have used earlier. Even some of the material samples we need to take to the laboratories like in Saudi Arabia, Al-Houthi is working on it. So what they take different samples and they will tell you how that project should be tackled, because what is the strength of that material still. Some of the mechanical and electrical hazards, because of some machine guarding is there, make sure any moving part up to, remember guys, up to 5.2 or 8.2 feet, up to 8.2 feet, sorry. If any moving part is there, must be guarded. I repeat again, any moving part up to 8.5 or 8.2 feet must be guarded as per Saudi Aramco. That means there shouldn't be any moving part without guard. It can be a grinding wheel, it can be a fly wheels, it can be any moving part. Same way the mechanical and heavy equipment, we need to make sure the proper certified staff is there. Any mechanical hazard or electrical hazard is well, underground cables, overhead power lines, and also we have a better control like in shape of daily inspections. Even the qualified crane operator or heavy equipment operator is there. Equipment is also having third-party inspection, to maintain them well. And same way, if we have electrical equipment, make sure they are underwriter like ULL listed or FM approved. They are not ordinary equipment because Aramco will not accept. And make sure GFCI is well used, ground force circuit interrupter, especially for the electrical equipments. And all electrical hazards must be considered seriously because fire hazard and electricity also, once you are trapped, it's hard to get a second chance. So again, we need prevention safety system against electrical hazards. Instead of waiting for the panels to be burst or waiting for the cables to be naked, and then we will do something. Same way, the pressure testing, whenever there is a pressure testing, make sure the material, the equipment, all are well checked. The person is fully qualified and the area is fully barricaded. No one will cross this line of fire. And the pressure testing, during this pressure testing, make sure the barricading is done as per the impact study. because the red zone blindly we can't decide. And ionizing radiations, we all know the radiations, same like in hospital we get from, same like from X-ray machine, we get radiation. We get radiations from mobile, we get radiations from sunbeams even. We have radioactive materials, you know, naturally ionizing radiations are there. And radiations is a source of skin cancer. That is why we need protection. We get radiations even from welding process here. That's why we have full cover and, you know, the face shield and a lot of protective gloves, and make sure the coverall, FRC, fire resistant clothing is also there. Same way, if we are doing non-destructive testing, this is one of the most technical field, and still a lot of demand in the market for entity testers here. The non-destructive testing experts actually. The market is still looking for. So this test, while you are doing, make sure the SOP is clear, the permit you are getting from Aramco, and you have complete qualified, technically sound staff for this particular area, and all your equipments are fully calibrated, and your people are know how to use them, these equipment for this entity. And you understand exactly what parameter are going to be used for conducting this test, or what kind of material they can test. Same way we talk about cranes and lifting equipment, they comes under rigging and lifting and using crane. But for cranes, toppling over, tipping over, overhead power lines, underground cables, mechanical hazards, electrical, as well as make sure if the operator is not certified, not trained for, even he is experienced one, but not certified, not trained, still not acceptable. Even the ID is expired in one of the theory, Aramco mentioned, if the crane operator's ID is expired yesterday, you can't allow him to operate crane anymore, even for the next day. And all your lifting equipments, gears must be third-party inspected with good condition, and you know how to use them. That is why we use slings and rigging and lifting equipments along with cranes under supervision of rigger level 3, rigger level 2, rigger level 1. And that is why we pay them more, because we need them, especially the rigger level 1. Whenever we are lifting 40 tons or above, we need rigger level 1. And whenever we are lifting, you know, near to energized equipment or near to the hazardous areas, we need critical lift plan. And this critical lift plan, even for the tandem lift, again have to be signed and approved by the rigger level 1. I hope you got the point. So rigging, lifting, crane, slings management is all comes under rigging and lifting training actually. So we have a separate training for this particular area, but for a nutshell, just remember, whenever any heavy equipment involved, you must have to understand as a safety professional what hazards are there and how you are going to control them. Same way, the sling inspections, you must be capable how to do it, or all other rigging hardwares, including shackles and chains and everything, whatever is involved there. Make sure they are in good condition and as per international standards they are purchasing. So guys, until now we have summarized how the construction safety manual is helping us to understand the key points of safety, so we can avoid any sort of incident or accident during our construction projects or even any activity within Aramco. So we have discussed the real root causes already. Now I have an activity, prepare the list of processes and construction industry. Just to save the time, consider it a homework. Please, you just need to prepare the list of processes and construction industry and WhatsApp me. This is a humble request. Whenever you get time, even tomorrow, day after tomorrow, just make sure you prepare that list with your name and ID and send back to me, because this is an important activity. Because once you have this list, you can easily be able to understand the risk assessment you can conduct. You can have better hazard recognition and more easy to go for JSA and like preparing for each process. It would be more easier for you. Excavation hazards, we discussed. Confined space hazards, we have discussed. Saudi Aramco maximum minimum oxygen level is all about 20 to 23.5%. This is the normal range. Above than 23.5% is not acceptable, especially in the confined space, and below 21% is also not acceptable as per Saudi Aramco standards, or minimum 20%. But as per OSHA, it's 19.5%. H2S permissible exposure limit is only below 10 ppm. Above than that, again, certain requirements are in place. We need proper permissions, from the different stuff. Same way, carbon monoxide below 35 ppm for 8 hours, but 35 to 1000 ppm. Again, we need proper permissions from the division head, and 1000 ppm onward, no entry. No work allowed. Same way, 100 ppm of H2S, no work. Even 20 ppm, Aramco stop the work. LEL, below 5%, first of all, above 0%, no hot work. That's surely you have to remember. Above 0%, no hot work is allowed, especially in confined spaces. And below 5%, cold work is allowed without SCABA, without SCBA, self-contained breathing apparatus. But 5% to 10%, if you are still going to work, but that should be the cold work, and make sure you have SCABA, because 5 to 10% LEA, you need SCABA or SABA, supplied air breathing apparatus or self-contained breathing apparatus. Now, 10% or above, no entry, not allowed. Now, as I told you earlier, if accident graph going up and up of any company, any country, any brand in the world, it will be finished from the market. Nobody likes to work with irresponsible contractors, or the contractors, they simply damn care about safety management rules and regulations. No, they can't go even for the bidding. I always mention, without safety department, just try to get even a single project from any brand. They will not allow you until you show them you have a separate quality and safety department. So make sure this graph is going down instead of going up and up. This graph should go towards zero, and the moment you will create zero accident club within your company, even no need to go for bidding. People would love to work with you, and they will award contract by themselves. Same like Schlumberger, sometimes they don't go for bidding. Aramco call them, Schlumberger, this is your job, do it. Weatherford, we like your safety system, this is your project, do it. You don't need to go for bidding. We trust you. And trust is everything. Trust me, trust once broken is broken forever. That is why I'm encouraging to the companies, to all our clients, don't tell a lie, especially with your customers. Because once he will understand that you are telling a lie, you are a liar, he will never trust you back. That is why trust once broken is broken forever. And he will be discussing with others as well, that these guys are not credible, or their goodwill is not, they always tell a lie and they're not trustworthy. Because your brand is the brand which is being discussed in absence of you. Remember, even your personal brand as an individual is the brand the people discuss in absence of you, on back of you. That is your real brand. And this brand, if you want to develop, you have to be trustworthy. You have to be like, as a safety manager, as a safety supervisor, if everybody knows that always you tell a lie, you just tell a lie, oh, Aramco is going to visit today, keep everything neat and clean. but Aramco didn't visit. Now the whole company got the idea that you are a liar. Because every time, okay, one time is a mishap Aramco committed, but they didn't came. Second time, same snapshot you are using, same stick you are using. People will start ignoring you, trust me, because at the end, the lies have no foundation. Surely it will not help. That is why I always encourage be honest. Be honest, whatever the situation is there. Whatever the situation is there, be honest. Don't tell a lie. Because honesty is the best policy. Otherwise, these golden words will never be invented. Now, as per Aramco, normally the hazards what we face, they guided in two categories like safety hazards and health hazards. Safety hazard, they say, is adverse impact on your safety and having 5 subcategories like electrical, gravity, mechanical, motion and pressure. And they gave different examples also. Same way for health hazards, that is having, anything that can have adverse impact on your health. And these also have subcategories like biological, chemical, radiation, noise, and vibration temperature. So we discuss everything, but biological, this COVID-19, this coronavirus, this is a biological hazard. So one biological hazard, right? One example of biological hazard. And because of this invisible enemy, the whole world is in trouble, right? Same way chemical could be in form of dust, fumes, same way radiation. We have X-rays, microwave, solar rays, welding out, even the knobs naturally occurring radioactive materials. Noise and vibration, that's another hazard. Same way we have temperature. So the last activity of today's training, I truly want everyone to put little bit more energy and join me for this exercise, how to identify the hazards practically. So I will show you one picture and let me know how you reply in the chat box. What are the hazards there? Look at one picture number 1. Let me know if you can easily identify what are the hazards here. Otherwise, you can unmute your mic and you can speak up also. Yes, guys, what do you think? Any hazard is here?
This compressed gas cylinder is nearby the welding spark.
Okay. Okay. What else?
Electrical near
And
the electrical near the
Cylinders are nothing.
Yeah, electrical
Okay.
cables
cable electrical is the
are
hazard.
nearby the welding torch.
What else? Do you think, is there any gravitational hazard or gravity that something can fall down?
Yes, this pipe screw.
Yes.
Stand too high.
Too high. Okay. And do you think, is there any mechanical hazard?
Yes, there is a lots of machine also.
Okay. What about pressure hazard?
Not properly secured. The pipe not properly secured.
Yeah. What about pressure hazard?
What?
Pressure hazard. Like this compressed gas cylinders is a tickling bomb. That means pressure hazard is also there. So this is what you have to do, in each picture. Look at another one. So we have electrical hazard because overhead power lines. And might be it is happened, might be the crane this operator is not certified, not trained, no verification. So many other hazards we can identify, but the visible hazard is electrical. Take another picture.
So many hazards.
So many hazards. Sir.
Sure.
Yeah, you have
The people standing on the box.
Hazard.
Crane hazard, fall hazard, tripping hazards,
No barricade.
no barricades, no signages, no helmets, no safety glass, and
Material handling. Improper material handling.
and operators, blind spot.
PPE, no helmet.
excellent machine.
Poor
So now you can
house.
recognize all the scientists and engineers there.
Yes, sir.
Okay, what all the heroes you can identify. Okay, so take another picture, please. So look at this fire exit door, how it is blocked. Look at this hero. Even this shortcut.
Yes, they are doing shortcuts. This ladder is
manual
not
handling.
secure, and lifting is not secure. Tripping hazard, manual handling.
So same process you need to follow at your site.
Yeah.
You need to make a picture in your mind
Yeah.
and identify all the hazards and take some action. This is the whole
Yes,
purpose.
sir.
You know? Because a safety official or safety leader cannot be a better leader until he would be capable fully to identify the hazards and the risk area. So I hope now it's clear. Is it a good practice? This is the way to lift a box. Is it right or wrong? These hands should be at the bottom side instead of here. Look at another hero jumping.
For housekeeping.
For housekeeping.
No barricade.
No barricade at all. Take another picture. Unattentive.
Falling object.
Falling. And everywhere you have hazards, but he is not aware. Sometimes people say safety is a common sense. But what if they don't use their common sense? Take another picture. So don't accept blindly any sort of unsafe condition or unsafe acts here. Because acceptor is the biggest issue. If you accept blindly everything bad, wrong at your side, then your role is over. See the mindset. That is why I always mention we need mind changers. We need culture changers, you know, or the culture, safe culture builders actually. Because look at the culture. No smoking sign is there. He loves to smoke. Grinding, cutting, going on, but he doesn't like goggles. He likes bike, not safety poster. Hard hat area, but he doesn't want to wear it. Same with the hero is lifting. Fire exit is closed. Okay, guys, this was all about, and let me just share our 2021 training plan, which we already implemented and we are working on it. And we delivered several trainings, and mostly trainings we are getting for emotional intelligence, best customer service. Some companies they call like effective leadership. We got effective communication skills, mostly the projects also. Managing difficult people. This is the need of every industry, I would say. So I will share, inshallah, this presentation or a few of the information via WhatsApp, because I thought after the training, I'll start sharing different kind of learning modules through WhatsApp groups, inshallah. And it will be helping you. Same way, this is what we do, like gap analysis, system development, trainings and implementation, internal auditing, and we also get certification support as per international standards. Some companies, they're gonna call us only for quality management system. Some companies only for environmental management system. And some companies, they will say, create IMS, integrated management system. That means incorporate 9, 14, and 45 all together. Quality, health, safety, environment. And if it is a food safety company, they will say add this standard also here. So I hope you got the point. So inshallah, feel free to contact us if any time in future you need further professional development trainings for your personal growth or to fulfill your company requirement. So for this CSM, we have an exam, but to be very honest, as per your experience, I don't need to take any exam. Okay. So just share with me your ID and picture, so we'll process your certification.